football player in the game right now, not just on defense, just in general. I've been through a few negotiations here with contracts. One of the reasons I took less money was for guys like him to get paid, and he needs to get paid. He deserves every penny that he wants and asks for.
Steelers quarterback Ben Roethlisberger. The sticking point in contract talks between Watt and the organization has been guaranteed money. Today, Watt did practice with the team in full for the first time this season. ESPN's Adam Schefter is reporting the Vikings signed Brian O'Neill to a 5-year, $92.5 million extension. It makes him the NFL's second highest paid right tackle. The Baseball Hall of Fame today welcoming its latest class. Derek Jeter's being inducted, along with Larry Walker, Ted Simmons, and the late Marvin Miller. Last year's ceremonies were canceled due to the pandemic.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
You so. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Oh, by the way, it's a hump day. All right.
It's hump day.
Let's hump, everybody.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Ryan Clark standing by.
Hump day.
Bourbon Dictionary later this hour.
It's hump day.
Tre Bradford back with LSU.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
But will he play?
Hump day.
Bradley Roby joining the Saints.
It's hump day.
Russ Mitchell in hour 3.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
We are locked, loaded, and got a ton to do here on a hump day edition of AFR. Let's kick it. Ryan Clark on Twitter at RealRClark25. Good enough to hang out with us every Wednesday during the football season. RC, thanks as always, man. How are you?
Hanging out at the house. Got a volleyball game to go to today. My wife, who pretends to be super tough all the time, her daughter calls and it's like, hey, I need some food. And so she's running to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm actually just picking on her because she's standing right here.
Is she actually better on air than you are?
She probably would be better on air than me. I'm hoping she's really into like true crime and those type of podcasts. And so she keeps asking for me to do something very strange so she can make a podcast about me. I think I'll just have to bring her on face first one time. I'm just scared of what she might tell the world about me.
Yeah, I would absolutely have a lot of anxiety about that as well. Terrio brought Erica on air last week for our guest picker segment. And like, you know as well as I do, like, you always want to be in control, right? I mean, it's one of the things about being on air. Because you're very exposed. And so it's very unsettling when someone who knows you that well has a microphone broadcasting to many, many people what they might say.
Yeah, and as much as I have talked about her throughout the years, I'm sure she just can't wait to tell the people some crazy story about something I did. But the thing is,
tomorrow on AFR, Yaka Clark for the whole 3 hours. Get ready, everybody.
Hey, no, tomorrow AFR, Yaka Clark will not be on.
All right. Hey, well, I want to dive into this, though. The big breaking news of the day is that Trey Bradford is back with LSU. We'll get to UCLA and look ahead in a second, but I mean, I'm assuming, RC, you being out there, you got at least a chance to put eyes on him at some point. I mean, how big of a deal is this for LSU getting Bradford back into the fold, regardless of when he might be eligible?
I mean, I don't even know anymore, Matt. And
Right.
here's what I'm gonna tell you. I've seen the reports and people are excited. And obviously you think about someone that talented and at a position of need. First off, which should never be a need at LSU, right? We
Agreed.
Grow them, And so now you look at our situation, and I'm watching the game on Saturday. And Jordan FaceTimes me. My son, he FaceTimes me, not Michael Jordan. And he's telling me about all the money he lost, right? Because he goes to Arizona State. So many of those kids are from California. And, they're talking trash to him. And he goes, "This is what I get for depending on my friends." And it made me laugh. But then we got more into the conversation, and we started talking about how well we knew all of these kids. The Trey Palmers and the Derek Stingleys and, the rest of the guys on this roster, how good of talent, how great of talent these kids were in high school, how much of a quote unquote must get many of them were. And then you're watching a Pac-12 game and you're like, we're being physically dominated by UCLA team that hasn't had a winning record. And I thought that was extremely hard. And so, getting Bradford back is huge because it adds depth in a position. You need depth. Obviously, you have guys injured. You have guys that can't play right now because of academic issues. And so, all of that is good, but you don't even know when he's going to play.
Right.
And so it's kind of one of those things. It's like you play so bad, people are just looking for any glimmer of hope.
Let's go back. And I don't want to – I mean, I know we've recapped the game almost ad nauseum for 3 days, but I do want your perspective on several things. Number one, and I'd actually like to start defensively because, that's obviously your specific area of expertise. The conversations that I've had with so many people, fans, right, are, man, that shallow cross, the crossing route, like they just ran it over and over and over again, and LSU couldn't stop it. Why? Why couldn't LSU stop what UCLA seemingly did so many times throughout the game?
Well, I think it starts because you couldn't stop the first thing. You couldn't stop the run, right? And so now you begin to make play calls in order to bolster yourself there, or in order to allow you to be strong there. You also look at the fact that you were down linebackers from a depth perspective, right? You lose Jay Ward, who truly is the one guy in that secondary or safety-wise that you were counting on. So now Major becomes the only starter that had a lot of experience with the ones throughout training camp. He was also the last dude to be on the team. And so now you bring in Todd Harris. He's gone after 7 plays. So Jordan Toles have to play. And the crossers will be handled by who? By linebackers and safeties. When you aren't necessarily playing the top of those positions. Obviously, Micah and Dumone were out there. So I think communication was an issue. It was also an issue in the fact that, you couldn't stop the run. And so now any run action that you would get that would put you into a play action or type situation, you were able to get the linebackers drawn up. The one boot, right, for the long touchdown, it's so much that goes into it. Obviously, it's a deep crosser. You lose your backers in the underneath coverage. Major Burns has to make that tackle, period. Very simple. He has to make the tackle, give the team another blade of grass to play. You go to the touchdown in the red zone where obviously the underneath crosser is seemingly wide open, right? You see the miscommunication between the linebacker and the safety. And then you think about the last touchdown, it's just man-to-man. And when everybody's All-American, when the number one corner in the draft is on a kid who couldn't play for LSU, if his dad decided to pay LSU to help him play, he got to make that play. Yeah. It's pretty simple. It's man-to-man. And, I don't say all of those things to be critical of any player in particular. Those are just the facts of what I saw. And I think that's not even the most disappointing part to me. Those are things that Coach D, Corey Raymond, all of those coaches have to get corrected from a communication standpoint. I think the other thing that I didn't like is when things like that are going on, somebody just has to take it upon themselves to do something. And you can't always make an interception or you can't do those things, but you can be physical. You can bring energy. You can bring hustle. You can bring effort. I think that's the next step this defense has to take before they can even fix any of the communication issues.
RC, we'll flip it over here in a minute, but I did want to ask one more thing. Like you did highlight there effort, communication, hustle, all those things, but I think the big question that everyone's had, and I'll ask it to you sort of just open-ended so you could take it and run whichever direction you want, but are the issues that LSU had defensively on Saturday fixable, and if so, to what degree?
I think they're fixable. I do think they're fixable. I don't think they're fixable to a degree where we can compete to win the SEC West in any way.
Yeah.
I just, and I think, and I use that as the measuring stick because isn't that the measuring stick by which Les Miles was fired?
Yeah.
And, you asked me a great question last week, which is why you win all the awards here. But for real though, you asked me, you said, RC, what's the one big picture thing, or what's the one thing you're looking forward to this week? And I said, I want to know if LSU can cement themselves amongst the Clemsons, amongst the Alabamas, and even to a lesser tier, Moscona. Like, can LSU even beat Georgia? Right? Because in a sense, Georgia has not won a national championship in the time that LSU has. LSU has beaten Georgia for an SEC championship. LSU stumped Georgia here. But I think the overarching or the overreaching perception of that university and of that program is that they're an SEC title type team every year, right? And the SEC is amazingly screwed because Alabama plays in it.
Yep.
And so when you look at that, is LSU on that level, or is that one championship kind of standing out and bolstering the rest of the year surrounding it? And so I think, you have McNeese this week. You have to obviously come and play well. I think Central Michigan, shortly after, you got to win those games. But what you do against the Mississippi State and Ole Miss seems to be a better football team. There's going to be some tough games down the line here, and LSU definitely needs to fix those defensive problems, but you need to fix offensive problems too. And, we're all honest enough to know that starts at the top, but there's such a big thing about coordinating and coaching and adjustments and player development in college, and we're going to see if they can get some of those things done throughout the season.
RC's with us. Let me knock out a quick break, RC. We'll come back, and I do want to flip it over, talk offense and for a quick segment, and then also what RC's looking forward to this weekend against McNeese. Stay with us. It's AFR.
AFR.
Love telling you about Pinnacle Exterior Construction, and I tell you so much about how they can do your pool and your outdoor kitchen, your fences, your decks, your bulkheads. But since Hurricane Ida, while they've continued, obviously, with their book of business and the things that they have, ongoing projects they have, they've also helped with recovery. Pinnacle has tree crews that can remove the downed trees on your property. If you have a fence that is down, you need a fence repaired or replaced, Pinnacle can do that as well. As we recover from Ida, Pinnacle is going to be part of that recovery. So remember, if you have a downed tree and you need it removed, 757-6138, 757-6138. Look for that Pinnacle Green, 757-6138, or online at pecbuilt.com. Again, tree removal, fence repairs. If you need a fence replaced, Pinnacle Exterior Construction. 757-6138, 757-6138 for Pinnacle Exterior Construction.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Introducing Vizzy Lemonade, the only lemonade hard seltzer with antioxidant vitamin C. It just hits different. All new Vizzy Lemonade. Step up your seltzer game.
All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. And with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. Need repair? Our service department is ready and available to help you today. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Service Master Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Master Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Starting in 1974, Central Plumbing has served Baton Rouge and surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Through these tough and trying times, we want you to remember that the Payne family is here to continue to support and serve you. As a multi-generational business, there is no job that is too big or too small. Residential, commercial, industrial, hospitality, we're here for anything you need. 24/7, 365. Give us a call, 225-925-8552.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
And make sure you subscribe to the Face First podcast. Of course, all of the DB Precision social media accounts, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. And make sure you're following Ryan Clark as well at RealRClark25 on Twitter and on Instagram at RealRClark. Ryan's good enough to hang out with us here as we start each Hump Day show during football season. All right, RC, we talked some of LSU's defense. Let's flip it over. And I do want to get some thoughts on this weekend ahead and what to watch. But what were your impressions watching Max Johnson make his third career start?
You know, man, heavy is the head, man.
Yeah, right.
And it's one of those things, and, you know, you kind of heard it on the broadcast, that UCLA's game plan was an off-season in the making. You know, they didn't have to show much of that against Hawaii. They were going to pressure him, force him to get the football out of his hand, force LSU to figure out, are we going to keep guys in to protect, or are we going to get guys out to get the ball out of Max's hand early? And you saw when they were able to get the ball out of his hand, when there wasn't pressure, he played extremely well. When there was a lot of pressure, he wasn't that good. And truly, that's what separates the okay quarterbacks or average quarterbacks or good quarterbacks from the great quarterbacks, right? If you think back to Joe Burrow's Heisman winning season, I just don't know if there's a play that epitomizes his season more than the free rusher against Georgia in the SEC championship.
Yep.
Free rusher, he spins out to his left, rolls, drops a dime on Jordan Jefferson, and every time I think about that season in Joe Burrow, I think about that play. Max wasn't able to create those things, and I think when you look back and you're going to think about LSU's weekend and Max, you're not going to think about the passes to Keyshawn Butte. You're not going to think about, you know, anytime the scrambles for first downs. What I'm going to think about is that he spun around and threw the ball with his left hand backwards.
RC, I'm sitting in the end zone, and I'm looking at, like, LSU's going away from us, right?
Okay.
So I'm watching this play, and it wasn't even one of those yell and scream like, what are you doing type moments. It's a stunned silence type moment. Like,
yes.
Did I really just see what I think I just saw? I mean, because Didn't you and I have this conversation last week, like with Max Johnson? It's always been like, that's how it's supposed to look. Like fundamentally, he's always sound, and to see that player in particular make that decision in that moment was stunning. The interception was bad too.
Yeah, no, it truly was, and it was, and people are gonna throw interceptions, and you're gonna make bad decisions. I don't. Like the interception was bad, but I'm not upset about it. He's a second-year quarterback in college. But a play like that, it shows that at least for a second you lost it. You were outside of your quarterback thinking prism, and that's not a good thing. And so, obviously you play a team like McNeese, it's a time to get healthy, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what they do this week. If they beat McNeese by 40 points, neither you or I are going to be on here on hump day saying that they're going to win the national championship now.
Right.
And so I think, what I told you going into the week was, okay, I want to see who they are. If this is who they are, then that's not a good thing.
Yeah.
Right? Because this is who you are. You lose 4 games for sure, maybe 5. And that's not the standard that LSU wants to be held to or wants to live by. And so, offensively, you look at the run game and you're watching UCLA, and I can't even pronounce this guy's last name, so I'm not going to try. But it looked like he could have been from Louisiana.
Okay.
And you're watching 24 from UCLA run the football, and I'm thinking to myself, an LSU alum, right? A guy who would, when he was in school, here was the tailback room. It was Kevin Falk, Cecil Collins, Rondell Mealy, and Kendall Cleveland.
Yeah, those guys didn't stink.
They didn't stink at all, right? And that was the running back room. And I'm watching UCLA, LSU, and I'm thinking to myself, I wish we had their running back.
Yeah, Charbonnet is his name, by the way, Zach Charbonnet.
Yeah, who cares?
RC, I heard it plenty in the Rose Bowl. I heard it plenty. I also heard the PA announcer say Tyrion Davis Price a million times as he added an extra syllable to Tyron's name. Anyway.
Yeah. And so that's kind of where we are offensively. We obviously have another number when we're thinking Thompson. You had Malik Neighbors to that who didn't play. Jack Besh now playing kind of the H-back position, wide receiver skills, a big body. I mean, I think we're good in all those places. I mean, we can't block a soul at the moment, which is a bad thing. Remember, we talked about it last week. Remember I said, here's what we got to hope. We have to hope that the LSU defensive line is just so good that the offensive line is good too, just not as good as they were. Right?
Right.
And you know what they tell you, man? You should hope against hope. Because clearly our hopes and dreams were not answered. And so now you're in a position where, we're going to have to coach. You go out, you get a great offensive line coach. You have a new D-line coach. Like, these guys are going to have to coach. They're going to have to fix some things. But the players as well. I spoke to the defense on Monday, which is something like I don't really do unless I'm asked. And I was just thinking about it when I was upstairs watching the game because I had to go upstairs to the apartment on top of the garage because my dad was able to finagle 3 channels on the TV, right? Because we didn't have Wi-Fi or cable yet. We had just gotten power, And so I'm like all excited because one of the channels is Fox and one of them is ABC. It's like the local channel. So I get to watch Alabama earlier, and I'm just all excited to watch LSU. So everybody leaves me alone. I'm laying up there in the dark by myself, and I was like, I felt something, And don't get me wrong, like I enjoyed it when we won the championship, but I didn't go on the field until somebody like called me like, RC, come out here, just because that was their moment.
Yeah.
Like I didn't play no football. But like when we lose, like you internalize that. And I don't care about losing, right? Like the scoreboard is the scoreboard. It's about the way it looks, right? It's about the way it feels. And what I told them is, I don't miss football at all. Like not a day of it. But if somebody told me you can come back and play football, even playing with Washington, even playing with New York, even what I was able to accomplish in Pittsburgh, if I got to come back and play football, I come to LSU. I go back to that time because it's the only team that I ever chose myself. And there's a sense of loyalty there. There's a sense of love there, but there's a sense of family, of brotherhood. And so watching them and having people like tweet me and talk about them, I'll be honest, like it pisses me off. And it ain't even about me. But when they're saying, when people, and these people don't matter, right? The kids matter to me, the young men. When they're saying like that we're soft, like I take that personally. I'm like Michael Jordan. You know, I took that personally. When they're saying, you know, the Pac-12 is more physical than an SEC school, like I take that personally. And I went and told them, like, man, like at some point, you know, and this is probably bad 2021 teaching and coaching. I said at some point, a defensive lineman got to say, you know what, I'm going to run my face down the middle of the quarterback. At some point, a linebacker has to say, you know what, I'm going to put my face mask on this lineman's face mask, and he's going to feel me. Right? At some point, a DB has to hit a running back or hit a receiver and send a message, set a tone. And at the least, if somebody has a football, 11 people should be trying to kill themselves to get to it. Like, that's what it has to be. And I think we have to get back to that mindset and not to the mindset of 2019 that no matter who it was, that when we walked out there, we were better than everybody. Because it's not the case anymore. And it's going to take execution. It's going to take communication. It's going to take preparation. And it's going to take effort and hustle. And if we can't get these young men to see that as a coaching staff, then I think this team could be in trouble.
RC, great stuff as always, man. Look forward to this every week, and hopefully next week it's under better terms. I mean, they'll play McNeese. It should be.
Listen, Little O threw for like 350 or something like that.
Little O.
Do
they call him Little O? Do you know?
I don't know, man.
Okay.
He's not just making stuff up sometimes.
I mean, you call me
like
Sconey. It's fine. No,
it's like the fish man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, Sconey.
Doesn't matter, Sconey. Nobody else calls you that?
You and Mac Chiwilli are the only two humans that call me Sconey. Yep, that's it.
Wow, I thought that was a real thing.
Nope, that's it. You're it. You and Mac. I think Mac maybe started it.
I'm not changing.
No, I like it. I like it. Yeah, it's you and Mac.
All right, my boy.
All right, RC. Thanks, man. We'll talk next week.
No problem.
All right, that's Ryan Clark. This is After Further Review. Of course, if you're not yet, please subscribe to the Face First podcast. That's RC's pod, and he doesn't necessarily talk sports. It's more life as it's interwoven into sports. It's funny. It's all the things personality-wise that RC is. So make sure you're subscribed up. There's the logo if you're watching. That's the Face First logo. So just search Face First with Ryan Clark on iTunes, Podbean, Podbay as well as where he is. So check it out. And then his the YouTube channel as well, the Face First YouTube channel. All right, it's After Further Review. Glad you're hanging out with us here. Taylor Calandro will have some Bourbon Dictionary in about 15 minutes from right now. I do want to give you some thoughts on Tre Bradford being back with LSU. I'll do that after the top of the hour, so about 30 minutes from now. And the Saints apparently have struck a deal to add a veteran cornerback via trade, which we have been speculating upon and waiting for weeks and weeks and weeks. Well, they finally done it. So we'll get to that, and then Russ Mitchell in hour 3. Lot to do today, and glad to have you hanging out with us here. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
If you're thinking about selling your home, if you need to buy a home, if you're thinking real estate, think Darren James. Agent225.com, agent225.com. Of course, that's where you can find every home listed by every company, all in one place, agent225.com. And remember, Darren sells more homes than any other realtor in our area because nobody's better at marketing the homes they sell than Darren James. Like, one of the new things Darren is doing to offer to all of his clients, Darren has struck a deal with a moving company to get you a deeply discounted rate on moving. The number one statistical pain in the neck about the moving process in selling your home is moving, is physically moving. So Darren's trying to make that pain-free as well. Agent225.com, or you can always call Darren at 335-7666, 335-7666 for Darren James.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
In most cases, you'll never get more for your trade-in than right now at Corval Toyota in Opelousas. Now's your chance to upgrade. You can pre-order your new Toyota today or choose one of our pre-owned vehicles and we'll buy back your current vehicle at a price that will absolutely amaze you. You can walk away with more money in your pocket than you ever thought possible. At Corval Toyota in Opelousas, that's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
If you're in a an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Our topic today is about savings. What is savings?
Hancock Whitney isn't just a bank for our clients. We're investing in our hometowns, making life better for everyone. So keep dreaming. We've got your back.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
If home is where the heart is, a roof is a shield. That's why for over 25 years, South Louisiana always turns to Garcia Roofing and Sheet Metal. For more information, visit garciadidmyroof.com.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Need a place to watch all your football this weekend. Of course, Pluckers is a great spot. Tomorrow, NFL kickoff. Need a place to watch either Pluckers location, Nicholson or Bluebonnet. Pluckers, you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird. Eli's Places, a spinoff of Peyton's Place, of course, featuring Eli Manning, debuted last week, and episode 2 drops today. And actually, it's got a pretty intrinsic Louisiana tie. James Carville, political strategist, visits with Eli Manning on the making of a Heisman campaign. Here's a little excerpt from it.
When I was up for the Heisman in 2003, I chose not to run a campaign. I just wanted my play to do the talking.
Eli Manning, he is playing his best football, and this is final year.
He just might swing enough Heisman votes to make it a three-way controversy.
End up getting third place, so maybe it was a mistake not running a campaign. If you were my campaign manager, what kind of a campaign would we run?
I would say Eli. He's a third child.
I grew up tough. It was tough for me, right? I got beat up. I got picked on.
Yeah, you got dragged around and you had to go to all of your brother's games.
I did have to go to all their games. I know why in 1992 you got campaign manager of the year and got Bill Clinton elected president.
That is, of course, is Eli's Places. It's now streaming on ESPN Plus if you want to check it out. And in some of the clips that they've shown, some of the previews, Ed Ogeron does make an appearance at one point where he and Eli are on the balcony of the coach's office at LSU overlooking the Ponderosa, and they're ripping their shirts off. So I would assume that's an ode to when Ed Ogeron ripped his shirt off when he was the coach at Ole Miss, whatever. But good to see him having some fun, and Peyton's Places was a lot of fun last year. So Eli's Places is out there as well on ESPN Plus. And again, there's a Louisiana tie now with the James Carville angle, so you can check that out right now, streaming on ESPN Plus. All right, after further review, glad to have you hanging aboard with us here. As always, glad to tell you about the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Bluebonnet in Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffrey in Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com, theantiagingclinics.com. Of course, they'll always give you a free testosterone level check. They won the award for the nation's best aesthetic practice. The nation's best aesthetic practice. And they're right here in Baton Rouge and in Lafayette. You can learn more, get your blood labs run as well. They give you the full blood panel. They can look at everything from your cholesterol, good and bad, your testosterone, your estrogen, your growth hormone, liver, kidney, colon function, all of it, to let you know sort of a snapshot of what your body looks like internally, and they can safely and affordably supplement you to get you feeling like your younger self and healthier. The Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online, theantiagingclinics.com, theantiagingclinics.com. All right, it is After Further Review. We do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products, excellence in imaging solutions. The South Carolina Gamecocks.
Running back Kevin Harris, finally healthy enough to play college football again. Harris, of course, led the SEC a year ago with 113 yards per game, 5'10", 220-pound runner, had back surgery this offseason. It was described as a minor procedure, but as they say, when it's back procedure, it's only minor if it's yours. Harris will play for the Gamecocks against East Carolina this weekend. No medical restriction on Harris that would limit his carries this week.
The Georgia Bulldogs.
Georgia wide receiver Dominic Blaylock working back from 2 torn ACLs. Was working with the offense during 7-on-7 and 11-on-11 drills prior to the game against Clemson this past weekend. And Kirby Smart said Blaylock is now fully cleared. It does not mean he's ready to play. He did not play against Clemson, but is fully cleared to return. Smart says Blaylock might be closer to 100% than Kyrus Jackson, who had minor surgery on his knee over the summer.
The Alabama Crimson Tide.
Bama men's basketball guard Damari Burnett will miss the upcoming season. He injured his right knee. He is having surgery. Burnett transferred to the Tide from Texas Tech back in April. He was a top 35 prospect a year ago. He joins veteran forward James Rojas, who tore his ACL back in June. He's out for the year. Burnett's injury leaves the Tide with just 11 healthy scholarship players for the start of the season.
The Kentucky Wildcats.
Shaden Sharp, the number 6 overall prospect in the 2022 247 Top 150. He's committed to Kentucky. 5-star shooting guard out of Canada. Committed to the Wildcats over Arizona, Kansas, Oklahoma State, and the G League. Sharp is the second commit for 2022 there in Lexington. Kentucky's highest-ranked commit since Skal Labissiere back in 2015, who was number 2 overall, behind, of course, Ben Simmons.
The Vanderbilt Commodores.
And Malik Dia, a 3-star prospect in 2022, is committed to Vandy Hoops, 6'7", 190-pound forward. Chose Vandy over Georgia, Marquette, Loyola Chicago, Murray State, and Western Kentucky. Dia is Vanderbilt's 3rd commitment of the 2022 class, the number 55 overall power forward in the country. And there you have it. That is Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy, Trey Beal. And our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products, they're online at gcopnet.com, gcopnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products. Face-to-face sales, service after the sale. That's what you get from Trey Beal and our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products. Baton Rouge, New Orleans, North Shore, and Lafayette. And always online at gcopnet.com, gcopnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products. I want to talk about Tre Bradford in about 20 minutes. Running back is back with LSU. And we will also get to the Saints making a trade for a starting cornerback. That's coming up in the next hour as well. Taylor Calandro is going to join us in about 5 minutes from right now for Bourbon Dictionary. So got your booze questions, get him in. Max Johnson did meet with the media today. And, you know, it's going to be interesting to watch the progression with Max Johnson because we saw it 2 games last year and looked really good, especially for a freshman. And so many assumed that he would take that next step. But when faced with the pressure from a veteran defense, it looked like he regressed. So he did talk about what he feels like he needs to improve from week 1 to week 2 and moving forward?
What I think I did well was, just stepping up and trying to make plays when they were not there, such as trying to find people when they were covered, or such as when people are in my face. I think I need to do a better job of, moving around, kind of just get behind, blockers that are blocking for me, such as, just kind of, instead of, just drifting and backing up. I think I just need to step up more and put it on our receivers.
Said he felt like he did a good job in the face of pressure. Maybe the couple of really bad mistakes stand out as glaring, like throwing the ball behind his back, not looking, the interception while being pressured as he was backpedaling. Like those are glaring mistakes, but those are the 1 or 2 mistakes a game that could ultimately get you beat in a close game. This was not close, however. He also talked about how they'll handle attacking blitzes moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I got to send the protection to the blitzes and get it out quickly when needed to. And I think Coach Pete did a good job of, calling routes to beat the blitzes. And I think we just got to, be able to run the ball into the blitzes, away from the blitzes, and be able to throw it away from the blitzes as well.
The best part about playing McNeese this weekend is you should be able to run your offense undeterred. You are physically better than the team you're going to play. So everything that was disrupted by UCLA's pressure should not be disrupted this week against McNeese. It's the thing more than anything I'm looking forward to seeing this weekend. What is it supposed to look like? I mean, Jake Peets didn't draw up a play with Max Johnson throwing the ball with his back to the line of scrimmage and not looking at anyone. That was not, I guarantee you that play was not drawn up. What's it supposed to look like? The slant to Trey Palmer where he was at midfield that, he would have housed had the pass been accurate. Well, the pass wasn't accurate because he was being pressured and he threw it low. What does that look like on Saturday? I think that's going to give us a much better idea of what this offense look like when it's clicking. And the old adage is biggest improvement, week 1 to week 2. That was the case for UCLA. Here's hoping it's the case also for LSU. All right, y'all, it's After Further Review. Glad you're with us here. Hump Day Show is brought to you by Pluckers. Quick break. We'll come back, wrap up hour number 1 with Bourbon Dictionary. Taylor Calandro, Wine and Spirits Director from Calandro, joins us. If you got booze questions, hey, look, get your first tailgate of the year this weekend. You want to mix some cocktails? What do you drink on a fall Saturday? What's out there? Get your booze questions in. You can jump in the Bayou Forward YouTube chat on the Watch 1045 ESPN YouTube channel. You can tweet me at Matt Moscona.
Hey, Twitter world.
Thank you, Juice. Or you can always text your question for Taylor in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Bourbon Dictionary with Taylor Calandro is next.
AFR.
Of course, our Hump Day shows are brought to you by Pluckers, Nicholson, and Bluebonnet. Wednesday, great opportunity to get by Pluckers for several reasons. Number 1, first and foremost, of course. There's sports on TV, and you can eat wings and drink beer. That's a great reason any night of the week to get by Pluckers. But also, Wednesday is trivia. So trivia has returned to Pluckers on Nicholson. So get your team together, test your knowledge, 5 rounds of general knowledge trivia, win Pluckers gift cards, make a night of it. Nicholson, just south of campus. Bluebonnet, right in front of the Mall, Louisiana. Trivia back only at the Nicholson location. However, for now, that's at Pluckers. And I'll remind you, you can order online. So if you want to get your order to go, you can now order online at pluckers.com. And delivery is available. Uber Eats and DoorDash. Pluckers now available on Uber Eats and DoorDash. So get your wings delivered to you from Pluckers, where if you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Yo, Jake here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic, the place that's going to be convenient for you during an inconvenient time. Look, you hear me talk about my 4 boys all the time, and sometimes things like stitches, well, they happen. And in fact, they have. And Patient Plus is always taking care of us, just like they'll do the same for you. And now with 7 convenient locations across the Baton Rouge area, open from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m., 7 days a week. And also at PatientPlusUC.com, you can sign up for your appointment on the way to the clinic. That's Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic. Get in and get better.
During these challenging times, we know your healthcare needs don't stop. Cancer, accidents, injuries, and heart disease are relentless. So we are relentlessly innovating to keep you safe, both virtually and in person, connecting you with providers remotely, advancing clinical spaces, providing rapid and accurate testing, social distancing, and certified cleaning protocols. We are Auctioner, and we will not slow down. Auctioner Health, innovating healthcare.
All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. And with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. Need repair? Our service department is ready and available to help you today. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
And our topic today is about savings. What is savings?
Hancock Whitney isn't just a bank for our clients. We're investing in our hometowns, making life better for everyone. So keep dreaming. We've got your back.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
They're the gang with the slang. This is Bourbon Dictionary with Matt Moscona and Taylor Calandro.
All right, wrapping up hour number one. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. We wrap up hour one on our Whiskey Wednesdays with Taylor Calandro, the Wine and Spirits Director from Calandro's, 2 locations in Baton Rouge. Here's your chance to ask your booze questions. It was a segment born out of quarantine that's carried on. So if you have any questions you want to ask, fire away. You can jump in the Bayou Ford YouTube chat. You can tweet your questions.
Hey, Twitter world.
At Matt Moscona, or you can always text me in the 225-396-4400. 396-4400. Taylor, how are you, man?
Good, Matt. There's not enough whiskey on earth to cure what's going on right now.
Do you mean with the LSU football team, or are you removing a giant tree from your home?
It's both, but
okay.
The LSU football program is an absolute dumpster fire right now.
All right, so we're just going straight into editorializing about football, which is not the reason that you're here at all.
No,
this is
I'm
not your forum to sit here and shoot piss and vinegar about football. This is where we talk about booze, and you help people get over the dumpster fire of the football program.
That's why I'm here.
All right, good enough. Are people drinking more after Saturday?
People are drinking more, just drinking more. It's just one thing after another, it seems like now.
I know. Did that – actually, I didn't think about it, but I would assume the hurricane probably contributed to that, yeah?
Yeah. I mean, alcohol sales are booming. There's so many reasons to drink right now. It's unbelievable.
All right. By the way, there was a comment from Brian Fletcher. Said, "Tell Taylor I went to the Perkins store. Got the 1942 Don Julio. His staff suggested Heaven's Door. Great stuff. I'm coming back for Whistle Pig."
We just got that Heaven's Door barrel pick in. That's outstanding, in my opinion.
Wait, so we talked about this last week. So Heaven's Door is the Bob Dylan inspired collab. Knocking on Heaven's Door, obviously. It's pretty cool. It's got like these different. Are they clocks or wheels? What are the things?
So Bob Dylan, in his post music career, he does welding and he does metalwork. He's got like a whole steampunk garage. that's what he does now. He does
Got
custom gates and custom furniture and custom statues and all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of a tribute to that.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm trying to pull up a picture of the bottle to show those who aren't familiar. But anyway. Yeah, that's not working.
Yeah,
Anyway.
it's got it looks like gears on it and stuff
Gears,
like that.
that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
It looks like the kind of art that he creates with metal.
Yeah, it's really good. They do have a variety of offerings, and I don't know if you've tried them all. Which one is the double barrel whiskey is the one that I thought was really good. I've tried them all. Which one is the barrel pick?
The barrel pick is just straight bourbon.
Straight bourbon. Okay, the red label.
Yeah.
All right, y'all get on by Calandro's and snag a bottle of that. You know the drill. You can always get questions, and I'll get to those in a second. First, though, anything new aside from the barrel pick? Anything new or popping right now that people need to be aware of?
No, nothing really new, man. The distributors are still trying to get their feet under them. A lot of our distributors are based out of New Orleans, so and a lot of them took damage. So it's just logistically, we're trying to get stuff in the store, whether it be alcohol, grocery, anything right now. So.
Let's see. We'll have some questions. I'll start in the YouTube chat. John DeLon said, I'm sure this is Greg Lehman who said, ask Taylor, if you had $1,000 to drop on bourbon, what would you buy?
A whole lot of bourbon. I wouldn't buy one particular bottle. I'd spend $1,000 and get a whole lot of different stuff. You don't need to spend $1,000 on one bottle to soothe your appetite, I guess.
Trent Lockhart said, ask Taylor, Rock Hill Farms or Elmer T. Lee?
Flip a coin. They're both outstanding, and they're both nearly impossible to find.
So that's both from the Mash Bill 2, right? So
yes.
if you're not familiar, you've got the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection. I guess, is it fair to say like that one step below would be Mash Bill 2?
Yeah, I mean, one step below. I
don't mean in quality, but sort of like as far as rarity or difficult to find.
Yeah, like if Pappy Van Winkle's 1A, then Elmer T. Lee and Rock Hill Farms are 1B.
Right, and so it's Elmer T. Then Hancock Reserve is in there as well. Blanton's is in the Mash Bill 2 also. I think Elmer T. Lee of the Mash Bill 2 is my favorite far and away. Actually, I think Rock Hill Farms is a little lower proof. I don't love Rock Hill Farms.
I think they're both fine, but yeah, you're right. And out of those, you mentioned Hancock Reserve. Hancock Reserve is actually something you can trip over every now and then. I think it's 88 proof, and I think it's great for the price that they ask for it.
Nicholas Cantrell asked Taylor, why is High West Midwinter Nights Dram so hard to find? And do you have any Blantons?
I don't have any Blantons, and the High West Midwinter Nights Dram is usually just a once-a-year release, and it's super limited. It's whiskey, and it's hard to get. That's why. I mean, whiskey is just hard to get. American whiskey is hard to get.
What is trickling through right now?
Trickling through with alcohol?
Yeah.
I mean, right now we're starting to see some of the new releases that these distilleries are putting out. Like I said, logistically with this hurricane, it threw a wrench into everything. This is like big time season for us and for distributors and distilleries and breweries. And this hurricane just threw a wrench in all of that. So, as far as scheduling, this is when you would expect to see stuff start popping up on shelves. But right now, I can't really answer that.
Brad Taylor said, hey, if you're the wine and spirits director, who's the fruit and vegetables director? Or are you the only one with a fancy title?
David Silvio is the fruit and vegetables director.
How
He
about
knows
that?
fruit and veggies.
You actually do have a fruit and vegetables director.
Produce manager, yeah.
Oh, a produce manager. Okay, but still, I guess it is a title, yeah?
Yeah, it's definitely a title. He does a great job over there at Perkins Road, and Brett over at Government Street. They both do great jobs with our produce.
Well said. What will you be sipping for tailgating this weekend?
Well, will I be sipping something strong? I don't know. I'm going to dig something out of my cellar. and it's going to be really good. I haven't decided yet though, but we are going to be tailgate this weekend. So
I was saying,
I'm very excited about that.
Wasn't sure if you were going to the game or if y'all were still working on the house and all that stuff. So
we're still working on the house, but we need a break and we need to cut loose a little bit.
Well, good for you. You deserve it, man. Y'all enjoy the weekend. We appreciate some time. Maybe I'll actually reserve some time for you to vent if you want to vent as well. Like I actually don't mind if you want to do that. Everyone else does.
Right now?
Well, I got like 20 seconds, but if you want them, you can go ahead.
Oh, we'll get it next week because there's so many things I could say, and I don't want to hurt any feelings right now. So.
All right. Well, we'll talk to you next week then. Thank you, Taylor.
All right.
All right. That is Taylor Calandro, Wine and Spirits Director over at Calandro's. This is After Further Review. Sportscenter is coming up right after the top of the hour. I want to dive kind of deep into the Tre Bradford news if you haven't heard. Former LSU running back Trey Bradford is again LSU running back Tre Bradford. We'll get into that right after SportsCenter. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Shawbills Tire and Auto Service. ShawbillsTire.com. 18 locations in South Louisiana. You know the drill. You can find the location nearest you at ShawbillsTire.com. Bumper-to-bumper auto service and name brand tires at wholesale prices. Check engine light coming on? Shawbills. Brake squeaking? Shawbills. You need new windshield wipers? Shawbills. Need new brake light? Shawbills. They can do all that. And, of course, if you need name brand tires at wholesale prices, Shawbills will sell you the best tires on the road for the cheapest price possible. It treats you like family. And they always have great deals. For example, I've told you about the Shawbills credit card. Apply for the new Shawbills credit card. The first time you use it, you will get $50 off your purchase no matter what it is. So let's say you go in for an oil change. If you use the Shawbills credit card, you will get that oil change for free. I mean, they just charge you $1 to scan the card. Anyway, no matter if it's tires or tire rotation or any service, Shawbills. ShawbillsTire.com. Remember, Shawbills, where we keep you rolling.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
In most cases, you'll never get more for your trade-in than right now at Corval Toyota in Opelousas. Now's your chance to upgrade. You can pre-order your new Toyota today or choose one of our pre-owned vehicles and we'll buy back your current vehicle at a price that will absolutely amaze you. You can walk away with more money in your pocket than you ever thought possible. At Corval Toyota in Opelousas, that's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
Our topic today is about savings. What is savings?
Hancock Whitney isn't just a bank for our clients. We're investing in our hometowns, making life better for everyone. So keep dreaming. We've got your back.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
To the heroes who are working tirelessly to care for our communities, we thank you. We will never forget the countless hours you dedicated on the front lines, choosing to risk your own health to fight for our friends, neighbors, and family members.
I mean, you guys are out on the front lines fighting it.
We are grateful for your heroic acts and unwavering spirit. Together, we are overcoming this adversity and make our state healthier and more vibrant again. Auctioner Health.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, We've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All Star Toyota today.
Hand injury lawyers.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The Steelers need to pay linebacker T.J. Watt whatever he wants now. That today from his teammate, quarterback Ben Roethlisberger. He called Watt arguably the best football player in the game right now, said he deserves every penny he wants. Guaranteed money has been the sticking point in contract talks with the team, and Watt holds all the cards right now in negotiations, believes ESPN's Dan Orlovsky.
One of the, if not the best pass rushers in football. He's the best player on his defense. He's the most important person on their football team. So that's why the leverage that he has, and that's why he's demanding so much money. If the Steelers don't have T.J. Watt, cash it in. The season is over.
Watt today practiced with the Steelers in full for the first time this season. Coach Mike Tomlin optimistic that Watt plays in Sunday's opener. From ESPN's Adam Schefter, the Vikings signed Brian O'Neill to a 5-year, $92.5 million extension. Deal makes him the NFL's second highest paid right tackle. Derek Jeter, Larry Walker, Ted Simmons, and the late Marvin Miller inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame today in Cooperstown. Last year's ceremony was canceled because of the pandemic.
Download the DraftKings app and use code CJR to get a free shot at millions of dollars up for grabs this week with your first deposit. Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
Let's ride.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
I appreciate it, bud. Have a good one.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Yusuf. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Saints injury report is out, and the Saints have traded for a veteran cornerback. We are going to get to that coming up in about 15 minutes from right now. So, tip of the cap, Billy Embody, go 247, the first to report it. LSU has brought Tre Bradford back into the fold. If you don't remember the story, a quick catch-up. Trey Bradford was a 4-star running back in the class of 2020, played at LSU for last year, the 2020 season, had just 10 carries. His biggest moment of his freshman season was scoring a touchdown on the road in the Swamp in the win against Florida. And then after the season, Trey Bradford elected to transfer. And he settled on Oklahoma, where he spent this offseason. And about a week ago, word started to spread that Trey Bradford had re-entered the transfer portal. And then we found out from Billy Embody that Bradford did, in fact, transfer back to LSU. He has re-enrolled at LSU, and he is a member of the football team yet again. So Ed Ogeron on the SEC Coaches Teleconference today was asked, so is Trey Bradford going to play this weekend against McNeese?
That's up in the air right now. We're still waiting to get that cleared. Hopefully we can get him ready to play, but I'm not sure if he'll be able to play this weekend.
Okay, I want to talk a little bit more about Bradford's eligibility, what he potentially brings to this offense. Get to all of that in just a second. Ogeron, though, did also elaborate a bit about the circumstances in welcoming Trey Bradford back.
It's like family. We welcome him back. The guy made a decision to go, and we told him, man, listen, if you go there and wherever you're going, if it doesn't work out, you want to come back, you got a home here. Trey's an excellent young man. We love him. I'm sure his teammates are going to welcome him back. He was all smiles yesterday, so it's no big deal for him. But again, Jock, you mentioned it is the lay of the land. Maybe 20 years ago that might have been different, but it's not different today.
So Trey Bradford, welcomed back with open arms. It's 100% the right thing to do for all the reasons Ed Orgeron just said there. It's the culture with transferring today. It's just the nature of it. You have a chance to get a player who left to make your team better. You find a way to make your team better. LSU right now with Ty Davis-Price and Corey Kiner and Josh Williams as their only available running back, status of John Emery up in the air, Amani Goodwin's hurt. You have a chance to add a guy that has a skill set different from the guys you have healthy and available right now. You do it. I 100% get it. As for welcoming him back, his teammates are all for it. Here was Max Johnson earlier today, talking about Tre Bradford being back.
He's a great runner. He sees the holes. He's actually a really good pass catcher as well. He caught a touchdown for us last year on a rub route. And, I just think he brings great energy, and I think, we're all looking forward to having him back, and I think it just creates more depth for our running back room.
The thing he said there that's most important is that he's a great pass catcher as well. I know I have beat this drum so much all offseason, but LSU needs running backs to function within this offense that can catch the football. It's just a critical part of this offense, especially if your line is going to struggle. The old cliche is that the passing game has to be an extension of the running game. You've got to be able to throw screens to your running backs and throw them to when you trust them to catch the ball and make a guy miss and make a play. None of the guys you have right now, you feel super comfortable doing that. Maybe Bradford is the guy that can be that role. That's from the quarterback. What about from the center? Here's what Liam Shanahan said about having Bradford back.
I mean, we're happy to have him back. Trey's a good player, good guy to have on the team. I saw him in the building the other day. I had to do like a double take, see if it was really him back in the halls. But we're all fired up to have him back. So he should be a big help to the team.
Okay, so a few things about Tre Bradford. And this is a strange twist that he was gone and now he's back. And it's interesting that because he already counted against your initial 25, because we've talked about this with transfers, right? LSU can't add another transfer because they don't have an initial 25 spot. Because Bradford already counted against your initial 25, you don't need another initial 25 spot for him. You just need a scholarship available, which LSU has aplenty. So that's a little bit of an oddity. It's my understanding, though, that LSU is going to need a waiver to get Bradford eligible. Because he transferred and enrolled at Oklahoma, he took advantage of his one-time transfer rule. Remember, it used to be that the only players that could get immediate eligibility were graduate transfers. The NCAA passed the one-time transfer rule, so any player can transfer one time and not have to sit out. Well, in theory, Bradford did that by transferring from LSU to Oklahoma, but he never played at Oklahoma. So they're going to try to get a waiver now that he's back at LSU to have him available now for LSU. There's no guarantee the NCAA is going to give a thumbs up on that, but that's what LSU is hoping, and that's the process they're going through. It's different than, say, like Eric Gilbert, who left LSU and committed to Florida but never enrolled at Florida. He only enrolled at Georgia after he signed with them. So it was a one-to-one transfer from LSU to Georgia because he had never enrolled at Florida. Hope that makes sense. For me, I really think the big question is, how much is he going to contribute on the field, he being Tre Bradford? A year ago, Ed Orgeron spent a bulk of the summer, and I remember when Mike D was coming on with us, we talked about this so much last summer, that every time Orgeron had a mic in front of his face, he mentioned Tre Bradford. Here's one of the comments Ed made last summer.
No, it's something we wanted to do. We wanted to throw him the wheel route out of the backfield. That was specific plays for him. Tre could even be a slot receiver. He's that talented. I talked to him a little bit, maybe playing running back, maybe playing some receiver, and he's open to it. So it may be something that we can do with him in the future.
So they talked about playing Tre Bradford not only at running back, but also at receiver. I'm not saying he's coming into this team to be a receiver. You're loaded at receiver. You don't need him to play receiver, but you do need running backs that can catch the ball. It sounds like Bradford could be that guy. Kevin Falk also last June said this about Tre Bradford.
Very fast. He has track speed. Can get out on the perimeter and make and make some guys miss. He's very twitchy. But now we want to just get him out in space and see what he does, at this level.
So fast, twitchy. Trey Bradford is physically the best comp of the guys currently here, Armani Goodwin. He's that type guy, just like Corey Kiner is more like Ty Davis-Price, more physical between the tackles runner. And then you got Josh Williams, the walk-on. And John Emery, of course, who's a little bit of both and probably the most dynamic talent that they have, who also is temporarily unavailable for whatever amount. My big question is, what realistically can Trey Bradford contribute if they get him eligible? Last year, we only had 10 carries behind Ty Davis-Price and John Emery. Well, now he's still behind Ty Davis-Price, John Emery. Can he beat those guys out when he couldn't do it a year ago? I also think it's interesting, one variable, that this is a new offense. Jake Peets comes in. Yes, it's the Joe Brady offense, but how similar? What's the terminology? How different? And look, Bradford didn't play with Brady here as the passing game coordinator. So how much of a difference is it? Terminology, scheme, setting, all that stuff. So how quickly can he catch up? And it's also worth noting, Trey Bradford wasn't playing at Oklahoma. He was the backup to Kennedy Brooks. But Kennedy Brooks in 2018 and 2019 as a freshman and sophomore had back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. He opted out last year in COVID, and he's back this year as the number one. The other running back Oklahoma has is Eric Gray. Remember Eric Gray from Tennessee? Stud who transferred out of Tennessee, went to Oklahoma. Now they're the 1-2 punch in Norman. So Bradford was, on the outside looking in here. So I guess it's fair to say, like, how much realistically can Bradford step in and contribute? There's one other layer to this story, which is kind of interesting. Eddie Radicevich was a guest on AFR when Texas and OU accepted admission into the SEC, and we talked to him about all the OU perspective, and he runs Sooner Scoop. And I messaged him earlier today saying, what was the sort of the perspective from the Bradford side? And this was interesting. He sent me this because apparently Trey Bradford's dad grew up and is a big Oklahoma fan and is a member of at Sooner Scoop. And he posted, Trey Bradford's dad posted on the message board today. I'll read it to you directly. Guys, like I told Josh, I'm embarrassed, disappointed, and furious at Trey right now. LSU kept going behind our backs, talking to him after I told them repeatedly to stop calling him. He never could get comfortable at OU because of the expletive they were pumping into his head. All caps, my family is not on board with this. But as you all with kids know, sometimes they got to bump their heads to figure things out. I'm sorry, flame away. He's going to learn the hard way. That's from Trey Bradford's dad on the Sooner Scoop message board earlier today about his son's decision. So Trey Bradford's back at LSU, certainly not seemingly with the blessing of his family, and perhaps with LSU getting in Trey Bradford's ear maybe when they shouldn't have. That is very ambiguous. When the contact began, remember, you can't have contact with a player until they're in the portal. So that's something worth watching as well. But what we know, Trey Bradford is back at LSU. They're trying to get him eligible as soon as possible to be on the field. And Ed Orgeron did not rule out the possibility of Trey Bradford playing this weekend if they can get him eligible quickly enough. One more back added to that running back room, which certainly is depth at a spot where LSU desperately needs it. All right, y'all, it's after further review. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll come back, brought to you by Pluckers, Nicholson, and Bluebonnet. We'll switch gears to the purple and gold to the black and gold. The Saints have made a trade for a veteran cornerback at long last. We'll talk about that next on AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by River Cities 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. Now, so many people in our area, in our listening area, were affected by Hurricane Ida. Your HVAC system might have been affected. Maybe you had damage from trees or limbs falling on your HVAC system, or power outages might have caused a disruption. Whatever it may be, if you had damage to your AC system or if it needs to be replaced post-Ida, water, whatever it might be, you can trust River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001, 752-0001, or online at onehourbr.com. Spell it out. You see them all over town. Big yellow trucks and vans with a giant clock on the side. So many of your friends and neighbors trust River City's 1 Hour Air because for more than 30 years, they've been the trusted go-to HVAC company in South Louisiana. River City's 1 Hour Air, 752-0001.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Our topic today is about savings. What is savings?
Hancock Whitney isn't just a bank for our clients. We're investing in our hometowns, making life better for everyone. So keep dreaming. We've got your back.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Make this summer your backyard party year with Chris's Specialty Foods. Wings, burgers, brisket, steak, and boudin. Plus great Cajun side dishes. We do all the prep, and you enjoy laughing with friends and family. Chris's Specialty Foods, Millerville, New Orleans, Prairieville, and Frisco.
Everybody loves Chris's authentic Cajun meat.
Yo, Jake here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic, the place that's going to be convenient for you during an inconvenient time. Look, you hear me talk about my 4 boys all the time, and sometimes things like stitches, well, they happen. And in fact, they have. And Patient Plus is always taking care of us, just like they'll do the same for you. And now with 7 convenient locations across the Baton Rouge area, open from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m., 7 days a week. And also at PatientPlusUC.com, you can sign up for your appointment on the way to the clinic. That's Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic. Get in and get better.
All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. And with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. Need repair? Our service department.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
I'm glad you're rolling along with us here. Russ Mitchell, 1 hour from right now. We'll recap last weekend in the SEC and look ahead to week 2. NFL Week 1 injury reports. The first of the week are out. 3 players for the Packers. Tyler Lancaster, the defensive lineman, was limited. Vernon Scott, safety, did not participate. And Zadarius Smith, the pass rushing linebacker, limited with a back injury. For the New Orleans Saints, just one name on the injury report. And this might be the prelude to the bigger story of the day for New Orleans. The only player on the Saints injury report is cornerback Ken Crowley. Did not participate with a hamstring injury. And we know soft tissue injuries, how sometimes they linger, and the fact that Ken Crawley is not participating with a hamstring injury on Wednesday of game week certainly is concerning. And typically, if you are not on the field by Thursday, it is hard to imagine that you're going to play on Sunday. So we will check the injury report as we move through the rest of this week. But that is certainly something worth keeping an eye on, and probably one of the reasons we saw this news today. The New Orleans Saints have agreed to, according to Ian Rappaport, agreed to a trade with the Houston Texans that will bring cornerback Bradley Roby to the Saints. Now, there is one little caveat that's worth throwing out there. Bradley Roby is currently serving a 6-game suspension for violating the league's policy on performance-enhancing substances. He's already served 5 games, so he's got 1 more to go. So even if Ken Crawley isn't available this weekend, neither is Bradley Roby because he's suspended for 1 more game. But the Saints here have made this deal to trade for Bradley Roby, and it has been something that we have talked about quite a lot this offseason, what the Saints were going to do to address the need at the number 2 corner opposite Marshawn Lattimore. Now, clearly, one gigantic question seems to have been answered so far. We all operated under the assumption that Marshawn Lattimore was going to face a suspension. And that was in many ways going to dictate the manner in which the Saints handled the cornerback position this offseason. To date, Lattimore still isn't suspended. So he'll be out there Sunday, barring something unforeseen, against Devontae Adams. So it's a gigantic challenge, no question. But having Marshawn Lattimore out there is a gigantic answer to a massive question for this team. Specifically with Bradley Roby, I like this for a lot of reasons. I'll get to why, but first and foremost, my biggest takeaway from this news, really in part, all of the news involving the Saints cornerback position this offseason, is y'all better hold on to Marshawn Lattimore with a death grip. I mean, like riding a bull. If you're a cowboy and you got that, are they reins? If you're riding a bull, are they reins? You hold on to those reins, you don't dare let go. Do you realize how hard it is to land a number 1 cornerback in the NFL? Look at what the Saints tried and failed to do this offseason. They tried to move up in the NFL draft to get either J.C. Horn or Patrick Surtain. Couldn't do it. They tried to engage the Dolphins in conversations about Xavier Howard. Couldn't land him. There were reports about the Saints pursuing both Stephon Gilmore and Shaun Wade from the Patriots. Patriots kept Gilmore, ultimately traded Wade to the Ravens. It is really, really hard to get a number 1 cornerback in the NFL because the most valuable positions in the NFL are quarterback and the guys that protect and affect the quarterback. The left tackle, edge rushers, number 1 cornerbacks. It is really, really hard to get any of them. So when you get one, you hold on like hell. You have one in Marshawn Lattimore, and this exercise this offseason should have completely and definitively ended any question as to whether or not the Saints would extend Marshawn Lattimore. They just have to at this point. Now, Roby is undeniably an upgrade over anything New Orleans has. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Bradley Roby is a legit number 1 lockdown corner in the NFL, but you don't need one. You have one in Marshawn Lattimore. What you need is the guy to play opposite him. What you need is Eli Apple. What you need is Janoris Jenkins, and you got the guy in that mold now with Bradley Roby. We have not yet, as of right now, seen terms of this deal, so I don't know what they had to give up to get him, but my guess is you're probably talking about a middle to late round pick, and I'm fine with that if you get a starting caliber cornerback that's going to play opposite Marshawn Lattimore. It's also worth noting that Roby, this year, his deal, he's going to make just about $10 million. But there is an out after this season with no cap hit at all. The Saints can get out of the Bradley Roby deal after one season and not have any cap hit, no dead cap hit after this year. It's void. Or you can, pick up the option and have him next year at $10 million. So financially, it's team friendly. We'll see what they gave up to get him. It's an undeniable upgrade at your number 2 cornerback spot. Bradley Roby is a former first-round pick out of Ohio State. Right. Former first-round pick, spent 5 seasons in Denver. Didn't start in Denver until his 5th year. He was a first-round pick, was a backup until his 5th year, his final year in Denver, where he became a starter. The Texans signed him on a 1-year prove-it deal, and he proved it. So they extended him last year, the terms of which were a 3-year, $31.5 million extension that he signed last year. And now, after the first year of that contract, the Texans are trading him to New Orleans. But again, the 3rd year of that deal can be voided. I like the terms. I like the player. I like his role. And I like the fact that he is better than any other option you have. In Houston, Bradley Roby had to be a number 1 on a very bad football team, on a very bad defensive football team. I don't believe he's a number 1. I don't think he was last year. I don't think he's going to be this year. He's not going to need to be. But can you play him opposite Marshawn Lattimore and get better results than you would with Ken Crawley or Desmond Trufant? Yeah. Trufant 2 years ago might have been the same guy. Trufant had a really good run in Atlanta. But 2 years ago, he just fell off the table. He just wasn't good anymore. Lost his starting job and was shipped out of town summarily after that. Last year, played in Detroit, was only active for 6 games. So, and then they let him go. You have a guy that's going to be 31 years old in a couple of days. He turns 31 on the 10th. So he's just at the end of his career. Roby is close. He's 29 years old. He's just 2 years behind. He's basically following the same trajectory. The question for the Saints is, can you milk one more season out of Bradley Roby, not as a number 1, but as a number 2? And if you can, fantastic, because that allows everybody else to fall into place. That allows C.J. Gardner-Johnson to stay in his nickel safety role. That allows P.J. Williams to be a dime back. It allows everybody to play the role that they're very comfortable in if Roby can play at a level similar to what you got recently from Janoris Jenkins and before him, Eli Apple. If he can do that, everything else kind of works. So I get it. I like what the Saints did here. The big question, of course, is what do they give up? As of right now, we don't know that, but my guess is it's a middle to late round pick, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay giving up a middle to late round pick for a guy that's going to be a starting caliber NFL player for you opposite Marshawn Lattimore. And if Lattimore misses any time, he recently has been a number 1, and he can slide over, and then you put Trufant or Crowley in there if absolutely necessary. But here's hoping he stays healthy and plays really well. So let's see what the Saints gave up. But overall, this is not the gigantic splash that we all hoped for or expected at some point this offseason, but it is the move to add a starting caliber defensive player that New Orleans absolutely had to make, and they made it here just a few days before the start of the 2021 season, even though Roby will not be available week 1 against Green Bay. Okay, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by DraftKings. Remember, the NFL season starts mañana. That is tomorrow in Espanol. And DraftKings is giving you the opportunity to win
$1 million.
It still hits really good every time. I like it a lot. Now is the time, y'all. NFL kicks off on Thursday. Sunday, a full slate of games. DraftKings is the official daily fantasy partner of the NFL, and they are dropping you smack dab into the weekend in the middle of this weekend's action. New customers, you get a free shot at winning the top prize of
$1 million.
All you got to do, your first deposit, sign up, use the code Baton Rouge, one word, Baton Rouge. So download the DraftKings app. It's easy. Download the DraftKings app. Use the code Baton Rouge. Remember to use the code Baton Rouge. One word, all smashed together. And this week, you get a free shot at the top prize of
$1 million.
But you have to use the code Baton Rouge. Download the DraftKings app. Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details. All right, y'all. It's after further review. Glad you are hanging out with us here. Russ Mitchell in about 45 minutes from right now. Muso is going to have Tigers and the Pros in about 15 minutes. Still plenty to hear from Ed Ogeron on the SEC Coaches Teleconference today as LSU is preparing for McNeese. Tre Bradford is back in the fold at running back. Can they get him eligible? There's so much going on. I love, obviously, football season. There's just a ton of meat on the bone. So we're breaking it all down. I'm glad you're hanging out with us here on a Hump Day edition of AFR. Overrated, underrated is next.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Hancock Whitney. My bank is Hancock Whitney. I was thrilled, actually, sitting in the Rose Bowl on Saturday, the row directly behind me, Greg Scott and a lot of my friends from Hancock Whitney. It was so cool to get to see all of those folks. I'm telling you, it's not just for me a sponsor or an endorsement. Hancock Whitney is my bank. They've been my bank for as long as I have banked, and they should be your bank as well, because at Hancock Whitney, their mantra is your dreams, our mission. Their goal at Hancock Whitney is to make your dreams come true, and now amid hurricane recovery, that's never been more relevant. You can get all the hurricane recovery information you need at HancockWhitney.com, HancockWhitney.com, or find any one of their financial centers near you. Hancock Whitney Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. All loans and accounts subject to credit approval. Terms and conditions apply. Hancock Whitney, your dream, our mission. HancockWhitney.com.
All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. And with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. Need repair? Our service department is ready and available to help you today. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Front to Back Boat Service has been family owned and operated for 30 years. And the Sherman family is NMEA certified. That's the National Marine Electronics Association at Front to Back. They are committed to improving the safety and technology of marine electronics through installer training, interface standards. And look, the fall and the winter, it's the perfect time to do that yearly maintenance you've been putting off. Get those parts you've been wanting. So schedule your appointment today at Front to Back, North Airway off of Airline Highway.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
All right, rolling along here. Hump Day edition of AFR presented by Pluckers. If you're listening Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, watching on CST or the Watch 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel, we appreciate that. If you are watching on YouTube, do us a solid. As the YouTubers say, smash that like button. If you're watching on mobile, you just X out of the live chat. You'll see a thumbs up button. Hit the thumbs up, and then you'll hit live chat again. The comments will populate right there, so you won't miss anything. But I know we mention this often, but all that comments, the like button, it all helps our YouTube algorithm for the whole channels, and we put all of our live content there. So OTB, Hunt and Hill, Early Lines, AFR. It's where Whiskey and Wine will be this Saturday from Don Juan Cigar Bar. So all of the live programming we do is on the Watch 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. So whenever you see us go live or any see videos published there, if you'd smash the like button, that's just a big help for all of our content. So thank you for that. Okay, Muso's going to have Tigers in the Pros in about 10 minutes from right now, and we will reset. I see some people are asking about the comments that Ed Ingram made earlier today, LSU's veteran offensive lineman. Let me get to that after the top of the hour, but I will reset that. So Ed Ingram talked about the offensive line struggles and conditioning and having a new coach in there. And Ed's a very candid guy. You know, admittedly, I've gotten to know Ed a little bit over time. I spoke to a class that Ed was in out at LSU years ago, and he came and talked to me after. We stayed in touch, and I think the world of him. I think he's a great young guy, and he is very candid. So we'll let you hear from Ed Ingram. I'll react to that coming up after the top of the hour. So give me about, after Muso does Tigers in the Pros here in about 25 minutes or so. Right now, though, it has become a Hump Day tradition. So right in the middle of the show, in the middle of the week, we do overrated or underrated. All right, Muse.
It's gonna be a bit of a telling one this week, I think, Matt.
Did your voice just crack?
No, I don't think so. Did it?
It did. Paulie, did his voice crack? Poll question: did Muso's voice crack?
Well, they would have had to have heard it.
I didn't hear it.
Oh,
Paulie. No, I don't think it did. It has before, but I don't think it did right there. Unique New York.
The Human Torch was denied the bank loan. The Human Torch was denied the bank
loan. Overrated.
Lanolin? Like sheep's wool? Not you. You're a man, I'd punch you.
I opened the door for that, didn't I?
Okay, it's my favorite movie.
Maybe
not my favorite. It's top 5. Anchorman is top 5 for me.
If it was your favorite, I don't think anyone would blame you. It's just incredibly good.
It's top 5 for me. It's definitely my favorite Will Ferrell movie. It's just brilliant. The opening scene, that whole scene where he's going through the vocal exercises. When I was watching that movie in the theater, what was that? When was Anchorman? 03?
04, I think.
Yeah, 03 or 04, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
It was one of the few times in my life where I was in the theater, like, out of my seat laughing. The other that I actually remember was watching Dumb and Dumber in the theater. And this is, I was very young, but when the X-Lax scene, the Turbo Lax scene, I was absolutely crying, laughing so hard. But that's the kind of sophomoric humor that I found funny when I was younger, and still do today.
I was about to say, that's still very funny. What are you talking about?
Just dump a bucket of Turbo Lax into his coffee, make him slug it, and then crap all over the place, and Merry Christmas. Well, I guess it was Mary Swanson, but had she married Lloyd, she would have been Merry Christmas. That's right. Okay. All right, anyway, off you go.
Samsonite. I was way off.
You would start with an S, though.
Overrated or underrated?
Segment's basically over now.
Yeah, pretty much. Overrated or underrated? So you know those little like car decals or flags people put on their car, their sports teams, they just ride around town with them? What do you think of those? Overrated or underrated?
Car decals?
Yeah, but of like your sports team. Not necessarily when you're going to the game, just you have it on there the entire week.
You talking about magnets?
Magnets,
Or-
the flags that people put in their
Well,
windows.
see, now you're asking different questions. Are you asking decals, magnets, or flags?
They're all in the same category.
I don't think so.
Okay, well then let's take them one by one.
because
Decals.
A decal is more permanent.
Okay.
Magnets and flags are specifically for going to the game. And I think both are overrated because they're easily stolen or broken, so they're a waste of money. The decal is permanently affixed to your vehicle. However, I don't want an association or anything that's going to damage my vehicle further. So I don't like stickers on my vehicle at all. All overrated.
Okay. See, we could have just kept them in the same category. Overrated or underrated, Nelly.
Underrated. Nelly is so underrated. When you talk about the best hip-hop artists, no one ever brings up Nelly. And I understand he's got platinum albums, so maybe he is properly rated because he is a platinum-selling artist. But Nelly's, I was listening to Grills earlier today, as a matter of fact.
So good.
So many cultural things came from Nelly. The fact that he was able to bring Grills and Air Force Ones and a lot of... Nelly, very underrated. He's timeless, man. You can still listen to like a top 40, a hot AC station, and they'll still play Nelly songs that are 20 years old. Very underrated.
Overrated or underrated? Dark chocolate.
Underrated. Dark chocolate. Healthier for you. Actually tastes better than milk chocolate.
Okay. Wow. Overrated or underrated? Fat Man touchdowns.
Overrated. Completely over. No, the Fat Man touchdown is fine. The way we celebrate Fat Man touchdowns is just stupid. It doesn't need to be on top plays. I get it. It's an outlier. The fat guy scores. It's a little cumbersome and awkward. As a former lineman, maybe I take exception to people taking exception to laughing at the Fat Man scoring. Maybe that's my deep-rooted insecurity. But the way we react to Fat Man touchdowns is stupid. The fact that you even asked me that illustrates my point. Overrated.
Overrated or underrated? Rob Schneider.
Overrated.
I mean, any particular reason why?
No, I don't think he's funny. I think he's a hanger-on. He's basically just saddled himself to Adam Sandler and been in every movie. He's had a career because he's friends with Adam Sandler. He's not that good. The time where he was actually the front man in a movie, they stunk. It was like the animal or whatever he was. You know, like when he was like an animal guy.
I don't know that one.
Yeah, he was an animal or something. Whatever. Exactly. My point. Exactly my point. You only know him because he's friends with Adam Sandler. Overrated.
Overrated. That's fair for a lot of Adam Sandler's friends. Overrated or underrated? Poker.
I don't play poker, but I'm going to say poker is still underrated because if you can actually have an event around something that becomes televised, that people actually care to sit and watch when you're not actually doing, with just people sitting around a table, that is pretty compelling. So I'm going to say poker is actually, even though I don't play, I'm going to say it's underrated.
Overrated or underrated? Kind of the same category. Billiards.
You mean pool?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if I would have said pool, maybe you thought like swimming pool. So I specifically said billiards. But yeah, pool.
Overrated.
Okay.
Shuffleboard. Underrated.
Ah.
Way more fun.
Now, are you talking like legit shuffleboard that you could play with the stick, or just the one like that you slide the little discs?
The shuffleboard with the sticks.
Okay, that you play on like a cruise ship or something.
The little disc. The little disc. And you slide it on the board. And it's got like the sand on it and stuff. Great game.
Yeah, okay.
Great game.
Like the bar game shuffleboard, not the one on the deck of a cruise ship.
Shuffleboard, underrated. Billiards, overrated.
Okay. That's what I got for today.
It's overrated or underrated. This is after further review. We're brought to you by Relief Windows, reliefwindows.com, Windows Door Siding, Relief Windows, and reliefwindows.com. 288-8138, 288-8138. A lot of people still in recovery of Hurricane Ida. If you need windows, doors, or siding, you call Relief Windows. They're the best. I defy you. I challenge you. Find any other company that won't take a deposit from you. Find any other company that says, we'll take all the risk. We're going to put up all the money to purchase your material, your product. We're going to install it. Only when you're thrilled, then you can pay us. I defy you. Find anybody. Only one I know is Relief Windows. They stand by their work. They're the best. Windows, door siding, Relief Windows, and reliefwindows.com. Reliefwindows.com. All right, y'all. Let me knock out our final break here of hour number 2. Muso will have Tigers in the pros. We'll talk some LSU football in about 15 minutes. Russ Mitchell, 30 minutes from right now. Ton to do. Glad you're here. It's AFR.
AFR.
And of course, if you need dinner plans, Ichiban. Always a great option. Essen near Perkins, voted by you the best sushi and best hibachi in the Best of 225 awards. Glad I'm doing this now and not when Russ Mitchell is on, because last Friday while he was sitting next to me, he said, I didn't vote for him. I'm like, well, you don't live in Baton Rouge, Russ. It's 225 magazine. But if you do live in Baton Rouge and you've had Ichiban, you understand why. It is the best sushi in Baton Rouge, and why our friends at Ichiban, when they announce a new concept, it in and of itself will become award-winning also, and that's what's happened now with Bo-Ru Ramen. Authentic Japanese ramen, handmade noodles. But you go to a lot of ramen places, you'll see big bags of dried-out noodles in the back. Don't get them shipped in a bag. They hand make every noodle. Don't believe me? Just walk in. You'll see they have a big glass room in the center of the dining room where you can watch them make every single noodle. It's Bo-Ru Ramen in Electric Depot on Government Street. Try something new. Try Bo-Ru Ramen.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Our topic today is about savings. What is savings?
Hancock Whitney isn't just a bank for our clients. We're investing in our hometowns, making life better for everyone. So keep dreaming. We've got your back.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big V and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Starting in 1974, Central Plumbing has served Baton Rouge and surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Through these tough and trying times, we want you to remember that the Payne family is here to continue to support and serve you. As a multi-generational business, there is no job that is too big or too small. Residential, commercial, industrial, hospitality, we're here for anything you need. 24/7, 365. Give us a call, 225-925-8552.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Oh, you know where I was earlier today? Don Juan Cigar Bar, doing the setup for whiskey and wine. I am so fired up. for Whiskey and Wine to be back at Don Juan Cigar Bar. Y'all come hang out on Saturday after the game. It's going to be fire no matter who LSU plays, win or lose. Don Juan's a great spot there in Town Center. All right, Muso has Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now. Presented by Kentucky's Best Hemp. Find them online at kysbesthemp.com.
It's been a bit of a tough season for Aaron Nola. Probably his toughest so far in the major leagues, which is a bit surprising.
He's been a little imbalanced.
Last night was the good Aaron Nola, though, for what it's worth. 5 innings pitched, 6 hits, 3 runs. They were earned. Didn't walk anybody and struck out 6.
Your runs were earned.
The pitch count got a little elevated to 92. Well, 63 strikes, though, so he was lifted after 5 innings. They're down 3-0. They're very much in the game. The Phillies' bullpen was very much not in the game and let the game get incredibly out of hand. And the Phillies lineup does what it normally does and didn't score. They lost 10-0, and because of their failures, Aaron Nola took the loss. But he pitched way better than the loss would indicate.
Okay.
Alex Bregman last night. No. For one, he's Jewish. 2, he's from Albuquerque.
Jews can go to Calico.
They can, but they wouldn't.
Racist.
What? No, it's not a race. It's a religion.
Bigot.
There's a difference. There you go. No, I'm just kidding.
You missed your time 30 minutes ago, Muse. 31 minutes past your time.
What?
4:20.
Oh, my God.
You missed it.
Stop spreading this false narrative. There are people who probably believe this, and it's not even true.
Why are you getting so defensive, man?
Alex Bregman was 3 for 5 last night with a double, a home run, his 8th of the season, and 3 runs batted in to go along with a run scored. The home run was a 2-run shot in the bottom of the 9th, tied the game at 4 for Alex Bregman. The Astros would walk it off in the 10th. Astros were playing the Mariners today on getaway day. Bregman not in the lineup, however.
I mean, I don't think less of you, Muse, because of your 420.
I mean, you don't have to think less of me at all because it's just not even true.
Okay.
You're spreading falsehoods.
Denial.
Daily. You're spreading falsehoods daily.
You know, denial isn't a river in Egypt, Muse.
No, right. That's the Nile.
Right.
Yeah.
Denial.
It flows south to north, actually.
Is what you're doing right now.
Yeah. Tremont Waters. Nah. He's from Connecticut.
I just wanted to do it again.
He's from Connecticut.
He's got nothing to do with it at all.
Like, probably never even heard of the place.
Oh, everyone's heard of it.
Nah, I don't know about all that. I know that team in Washington, they've heard of it. Washington, D.C. Tremont Waters.
Whipped up. I don't know what they were.
Not very good at football.
I don't know, bro. They're like a big private prep school up there. Got on a plane, went up to D.C. and laid the smack down. Crab cakes in football, that's what Maryland does. I think not. Ass whippings in football is what Calico does. Take some of that, school in Maryland, whoever you are.
That was on TV last night.
I knew you'd love that.
Guys, that's a top 5 comedy for me. Comedy, at least for me. Tremont Waters agreed to deal with the reigning defending NBA champion Milwaukee Bucks.
Oh.
That's per Shams over at The Athletic. Waters will take place in training camp. He will be competing for a spot on the roster. The Bucks have both guaranteed and 2-way slots available.
Good.
So we'll see where Tremont lands. Tremont, of course, spent his first 2 seasons with the Celtics, who drafted him in the 2nd round out of LSU. Finish it up, back to the diamond, this time the minor leagues, where we find Josh Smith.
The one that was right
there.
Paying attention.
You were on it for Alex Bregman.
I wasn't even paying attention.
You were on it for Tremont Waters, who's from Connecticut.
I was sharing a post.
And he misses Josh Smith, who actually went to the damn school. Clean it up, Matt. Act like you've been here before.
Oh.
Josh Smith went 2 for 5 with a run scored last night for the Frisco Rough Riders. Smith's on his hot streak. I'd say he's on a hot streak. The hot streak really never ended from the start of the season in high A, now to double A. 290 is the average so far for Josh Smith in double A. Feels like it won't be long now for Josh Smith. And that's Tigers in the pros.
Brady Holsey on the text chat said your voice did crack.
Oh, did it? Wow. Huh? I missed it.
You know your voice cracks.
No, I really didn't.
You know what they say about one of the reasons your voice cracks?
No, they don't say that at all.
After you
they don't say that at all.
Well, 420.
No.
Munchies.
That happens, but no, you don't.
And then your voice cracks.
It doesn't. That's
Whenever you try to speak on the radio when you.
Well, I mean, I've been sitting in this chair when would I have had time to do that?
When I went to go fill up my water bottle.
But that was past 4:20, so it wouldn't have counted.
After, no, it matters. Yeah. When we went to that break, that time. Yep.
No. That was Tigers in the pros.
Presented by KYSBestHemp.com. KYSBestHemp.com.
I heard it that time.
All natural CBD. Remember, Muse, there's no THC in Kentucky's best hemp. It's completely legal, Muse. All right? So bypass that if you want the feeling, But if you want to help inflammation or trouble sleeping or anxiety, Kentucky's best hemp. It's a great option. Save 30% with the promo code AFR30. AFR30 for 30% off at KYSBestHemp.com. All right, here comes Sportscenter. Hour 3 is next.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by GMFS Mortgage and GMFSmortgage.com. Changing lives since 1999. And, of course, during this time, they are helping our Louisiana residents with rebuilding and restoring and overcoming from Hurricane Ida. If you need Ida updates, it's all there on the homepage. And, of course, if you're looking to rebuild, restore, recover, they have disaster loans available as well. You can learn more at gmfsmortgage.com, gmfsmortgage.com. Home buy, refi, construction loans, and as we mentioned, disaster loans are available as well, courtesy of GMFS Mortgage, where for 22 years now they've been changing lives. If it's helping change your life for the better, obviously, by overcoming a natural disaster or saving money by refinancing your mortgage, buying or building that home of your dreams, it's GMFS Mortgage. GMFSmortgage.com.
All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. And with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. Need repair? Our service department is ready and available to help you today. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law offices of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Hand injury lawyers.
This is Sportscenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Breaking news. The Penguins will start the NHL regular season without captain Sidney Crosby. He's expected to be sidelined at least 6 weeks after undergoing a procedure on his left wrist. As contract negotiations continue between the Steelers and All-Pro linebacker T.J. Watt, quarterback Ben Roethlisberger sent a clear message today regarding his teammate to Pittsburgh's front office.
He's arguably the best football player in the game right now, not just on defense, just in general. I've been through a few negotiations here with contracts. One of the reasons I took less money was for guys like him to get paid, and he needs to get paid. He deserves every penny that he wants and asks for.
Ben Roethlisberger, the main sticking point in contract talks is guaranteed money. Today, Watt practiced with the Steelers in full for the first time this season. Coach Mike Tomlin has expressed optimism Watt plays in Sunday's season opener. More on the Watt situation in Pittsburgh, now on SportsCenter on ESPN TV. The Baseball Hall of Fame today welcomed its latest class. Derek Jeter was inducted along with Larry Walker, Ted Simmons, and the late Marvin Miller.
Coming up Thursday, I'll tell you why I think Jameis Winston is the right call to replace Drew Brees. All that and more coming up on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max Thursday morning on ESPN Radio.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios. That's right.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
This is Jack O'Neill, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
Chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Muso. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. We're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Oh, by the way, it's a hump day. Let's hump, everybody.
It's hump day.
Ryan Clark, hour 1.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Real talk about the LSU defense. Tre Bradford back with the Tigers.
It's hump day.
His dad is not happy about it.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Saints add Bradley Roby. But he's not going to play this weekend.
It's hump day.
Suspended for drugs.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Muso knows something about that. Russ Mitchell in 12 minutes.
It's hump day.
You're the worst. You're really the worst.
I know.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Oh. Do you know how many texts have been getting in the show now? Aaron Goldberg, tell Muso it's 2021. Attitudes are changing. It's accepted to smoke weed. Dustin Blanchard, Muso sounds tense. Maybe he needs a smoke break.
You have convinced people that I'm actually a pothead, and I'm not. I mean, I agree with Aaron. You sure, man? Go ahead, do what you want to do. I just don't do it.
Woo, You sound mighty defensive over there, Muse. So good. This chair. I swear to God. I hate this chair.
You deserve it. You deserve it.
I hate this chair so much. I'm convinced our audience that you're a Barbie girl singing pothead. That's what we've turned Muso. Whose name is Muso? I even screwed up your name. Oh, man. Oh, look at Jeter going into the Hall of Fame. Oh, so good. So good. Whew. All right. Okay, Russ Mitchell in about 11 minutes from right now. Last time we heard from Russ, or last time you all heard from Russ, he was completely screaming at the camera about confetti during Whiskey and Wine. They shot off confetti cannons inside the Rose Bowl. It was the damnedest thing. It's like, is this the playoff or is this the first game of the season? Well, I guess for them it's the second game of the season. A lot to clean up there for the Rose Bowl crew. Anyway, so Russ will be with us here in a bit. Ed Ogeron, SEC coaches teleconference earlier today, and he did confirm that Trey Bradford is back with the LSU football team. Did not, however, confirm if Bradford would be available this weekend. That is still not determined. Some people are like, well, how can he not know? That's an eligibility issue with the NCAA. As I understand it, LSU is seeking a waiver from the NCAA to allow Bradford to be eligible immediately. Yes, the NCAA did allow the transfer immediate eligibility, the one-time waiver, but Bradford transferred to Oklahoma, so he was going to be eligible there, but now that he's coming back without having played, they're trying to get a waiver to make him eligible at LSU right now. We'll keep you posted. But this is the home opener for LSU, as we all know. Coming off a very disappointing loss and having a vastly inferior opponent is not going to make for the best setting, but it will be the first time that Tiger Stadium has the possibility to be at capacity in more than a year. So I think there's lots of reasons to be excited for that.
So we're very excited. A home opener in Tiger Stadium, a lot of new freshmen that never played in Tiger Stadium, their first time here. A lot of new coaches, their first time in Tiger Stadium. We're looking forward to playing to a great home crowd. Looking forward to playing McNeese. Coach Frank Wilson is doing an excellent job. Like I said yesterday, I'm happy that we're playing state schools. It's good Fall State.
Not only is this the first home game for these freshmen and new coaches, but remember, it'll be the first home game with a crowd, with a full crowd anyway, for the second-year players as well. The guys that were here last year, I mean, think about the transfers. Think about guys that came in last year like Liam Shanahan or Ali Gay or any of the freshmen a year ago. They never got to play in a full Tiger Stadium. This will be the first opportunity they have to see what it could be like in a full, loud Tiger Stadium. And Ed Ogeron did update how practice has gone this week.
You know, our guys have been spirited. Monday, 24-hour rule. Leadership was on target. Went out there and had a regular walkthrough we're doing Monday. Yesterday was a hard physical practice. Our guys practiced their butt off with a great attitude. We know that we have a lot of football left in front of us. We have confidence that we have a good football team and that we have a lot of football left. So the guys are in good spirits. They
definitely do have a lot of football left, and that's something that is so worth noting. I mean, everyone, if you were here Monday, you heard my comments not only on the team but the big picture of the program, and a lot of people feel that way, certainly. But the people in that building shouldn't be listening to me or anyone like me talking about those types of things. They have challenge at hand, and that's the benefit of being in the locker room, is you can isolate yourself and try to insulate yourself from people like me or whoever else is saying or writing whatever they want to say, and you go focus on trying to win a game, and for this week it's McNeese. But some of the things that I heard from players today were actually more encouraging. For example, Andre Anthony. Andre Anthony came back for a 6th year. He wanted a get-right opportunity so he didn't go out with what last year's broken COVID season was. And you lose the opener and you give up over 34 points again, and it looks like it did. For the 4th consecutive game, LSU's allowed at least 34 points. You allow 38. And it looked a lot like it did a year ago, but Andre Anthony was pretty clear. He's like, it ain't going to stay like that.
Last year was just so much. And now just knowing what we went through last year, you don't want that to happen again. So going into locker room, people, kind of upset, hanging their head, sad. Like, we don't need that. Like, this year is not going to be another last year. That's not going to happen. So we need to stay together as a team, for one, and come into the locker room like, hey, like, bro, we good. We good. We got a lot of ball left. We can win out. We just got to focus in, lock in, and learn from our mistakes.
This year is not going to be another last year. That's the best thing I heard any player say. And when a sixth-year senior who came back specifically for the opportunity to have a bounce-back year is the one leading that charge, hopefully that carries over. Another guy who came back who certainly didn't need to is Ed Ingram. And the offensive line really was the focal point of the criticism after Saturday. It was something we talked about so much this offseason. And unfortunately, it was as bad as many of us feared it might be. But Ed Ingram, who's always very candid, talked about sort of the lack of time together in camp for some of the players and obviously with a new coach.
I really don't know. I mean, it could have played some part in it, but I don't think it played a direct part in it. At the end of the day, we just got to move the ball. We got to get our double teams together and just focus on our technique. I think a lot of us were tired and out of shape.
A lot of us were tired and out of shape. That's part of the soundbite that a lot of people are latching on to. And yes, it's the first game of the season, and you would expect you continue to get into football shape, but Ed Orgeron says so often, the summer gets you ready for camp gets you ready for the season. And for a veteran lineman to say that a lot of us were tired and out of shape is not a good look. Now, we also talked about the adjustment with Brad Davis coming in June, which is something we've talked about. We actually talked about with Ed when he was on the show during the summer. Ed Ingram, not Ed Orgeron, obviously, but Ed Ingram when he was on the show in June about having a limited time. And he talked about how different it is, just have a different voice, different style, different approach from a coach. So he talked about that transition with the new coach.
I kind of wish we could have got him a little bit earlier if they was going to do a coaching change, wherever, because it's two different coaching styles, two different, I mean, he has different techniques that our old offensive line coach taught differently. And so it would have been good to kind of gel in with the new technique and all this stuff a little bit earlier so we can get used to it and kind of integrate it into the season.
And it's a mighty challenge, man. You go on the road and you got 11 senior starters on defense at UCLA. It's one of those where if you had the opportunity to go McNeese, Central Michigan, Mississippi State, then UCLA, maybe it's different. So clearly one of the bigger questions is going to be how much can they improve over the course of the year. And Ed Ingram was asked point blank, do you have the pieces to fix the problems that face this team right now?
I'm very confident. We have a lot of talented players on this team, similar to 2019 season. So I'm not worried. A lot of the team isn't worried. After the game, all of us came together and just focus on the process. This is just a little bump in the road, but we can keep on going and can still win a natty. So just keep staying on track.
Ed Ingram, some of your veteran players. Ed Ingram, Andre Anthony, very focused on the goal that's still there, the talent they have, and what might be ahead. Many rational people are skeptical, but it doesn't matter. What matters is the people in that building actually care about fixing it. They do the things they need to get it right. See if they can. Russ Mitchell was sitting right next to me in the Rose Bowl on Saturday. He saw it all firsthand. No doubt he's gone back and rewatched that game because he's a masochist. But we'll get his take on everything he saw week 1 of the SEC, and we'll preview week 2 with Russ Mitchell, College Football News, next.
AFR.
Love telling you about Clegg's Nursery. Certainly love telling you about great local businesses, especially during this time as so much of our area is recovering from Ida, and they're helping with the process because Clegg's Nursery is partnered with True Value Hardware Store. Oh, yes. Look, fall bedding plants, they got them. Johnny Naylor's seeds for your fall vegetable gardens, they got them at Clegg's. You need mulch or soil, bag, bulk, they got it at Clegg's Nursery. But they're also partnered with True Value Hardware Store. So whatever you would find at a True Value Hardware Store, you'll also find at Clegg's Nursery. So if you're cleaning up after Ida, Clegg's Nursery is going to have what you need. From the tools like rakes and shovels and hose and all the things you would need to clean up to things like floodlights or contractor bags, anything that you duct tape, anything you would need to continue your cleanup from Ida, Clegg's will have. 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. Buy local, shop local, tell them Matt sent you in to Clegg's Nursery.
Our topic today is about savings. What is savings?
Hancock Whitney isn't just a bank for our clients. We're investing in our hometowns, making life better for everyone. So keep dreaming. We've got your back.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
During these challenging times, we know your healthcare needs don't stop. Cancer, accidents, injuries, and heart disease are relentless. So we are relentlessly innovating to keep you safe, both virtually and in person, connecting you with providers remotely, advancing clinical spaces, providing rapid and accurate testing, social distancing, and certified cleaning protocols. We are Auctioner, and we will not slow down. Auctioner Health, innovating healthcare.
Make this summer your backyard party year with Chris's Specialty Foods. Wings, burgers, brisket, steak, and boudin, plus great Cajun side dishes. We do all the prep, and you enjoy laughing with friends and family. Chris's Specialty Foods, Millerville, New Orleans, Prairieville, and Frisco.
Everybody loves Chris's authentic Cajun meat.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary. For those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
I think Russ is going to be a great coach in college football.
Russ Mitchell.
Kicking the tires and lighting the fires. Russ! Literally.
Well, I'm proud of Russ. I think Russ deserves it.
If they give you a nickname, you're good. Rusty, come on up here. I'm getting tired of saying Tigers. There's too many Tigers in the league already.
I want you to stay here and take care of things, Russ.
You know, I mean, they're going to run this kid around like a rented step-headed mule.
You know, I haven't had much of a chance to talk to you man to man, Russ.
I'm a guy who spends all day breaking down Kentucky football.
Not going in our yard, Russ. It's going in our living room.
And I'm calling you out, man. We'll cut this clip and send it out there to Spurrier and the fellas. It's like Troy.
Take it, Russ.
All right, Russ Mitchell joins us now. College football news. Great seeing you this weekend. How are you, man?
I'm kicking the tires and lighting the fires, baby.
Yeah. Had a great time at Musso and Frank. Had a great time really on the whole trip. Had a great time really everything except the game.
Well, first of all, let's just talk about the good things first.
Okay.
Let's talk about what an amazing tailgate that they and I mean, I'm not being flippant. I'm being serious. I mean, boy, they put on a good show, all those folks. And
it was the LSU Alumni Association.
Yeah, just fantastic, man. I mean, just like over the top. And then Raising Cane's got the entertainment, right?
Yeah, they worked with the Alumni Association. Todd Graves did, yeah.
I mean, really good job, Todd. I mean, just over the top, fantastic. I mean, I was talking to some UCLA people on Monday, and just like they're like, "Oh, so that's how you do it." That's I mean, it just really, really fantastic job, and thanks to everybody who picked up the tab for all that and all the sponsors, because it's expensive to put on stuff like that. So thanks to everybody.
Yeah, we had a great time, man. And the game sucked. So let's
my God.
Let's start out of obligation. Talk about what we saw, and then I'm obviously assuming you went back and watched the game after having seen it live. You could obviously see more when you watch tape.
I did.
So what was maybe different that you watched on film that what your observations were in person?
Well, I watched it twice, but it took me 2 days to watch it twice because it was I had to turn it off at parts, and I'm actually wearing our LSU National Championship 2019 hat right now. Hit the bell, Moose. And boy, 2019 is feeling further and further and further away with every heartbeat, man.
Yeah.
So the thing that really stood out to me that was difficult to see as clearly when being at the game was how much we were pushed around in the trenches. And did I say we? I'm just giving up, man. I'm totally giving up. 25 years of doing this, I'm just totally giving up now at this point. I mean, even during 2019, I avoided saying we. But, it's just so depressing to see, and it's just so much of this is coaching. I'm sorry, but just like guys in the wrong place, guys not looking like they knew what to do. I'm just talking about the trenches right now. I'm not even talking about the secondary yet, right? I'm talking about the line not knowing where they're supposed to be to pick up blocks. And the second thing that I took away from that watching the game was I'm a little bit less disappointed with Max Johnson than I was during the game.
Okay.
I thought, the backwards lateral, the backwards no look, Kobe Bryant pass notwithstanding, which I still don't know how that wasn't intercepted. That poor kid was like living off his backside the whole game. So, and he took some hits. We talked about it during the game. Boy, watching it, he was drilled a number of times and stood in the pocket. He got a few happy feet towards the end, but you go do that and take those hits for a whole game and see if you don't have happy feet by the end. And I'm not forgiving him for missing. Who was it that he missed in the slant again in the second period?
It was Trey Palmer.
Oh, my God. That was 7 points. But none of that changes the game. We weren't – I just said we again. LSU wasn't going to win the game if he had completed that pass, man, because the secondary can't figure out how to play football, man. I mean, what is going on? The whole purpose of hiring Orgeron was that he was supposed to be this master who could find all the coordinators and put them into place. I mean, we look hopeless. My wife, who, God bless her, she's the most remarkable woman, and I have punched over my weight. But, she doesn't, she can barely tell the difference between a football and a soccer ball, a football and a football. And, she was saying, boy, the secondary looks like they don't know where they're supposed to be. So she doesn't even know how to call it secondary. She's like, the guys in the back don't look like they know where they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's because they don't know where they're supposed to be.
Right.
And she said, well, whose fault is that? And I said, darling, let's talk about something else.
All right. So let's you and I talk about something else because we've done this plenty. let's go to Georgia Clemson, which
yes,
mad respect. I think I shared. I don't know if it was on Instagram or Twitter, but I put out a picture of you watching your phone in the stadium of that game, which was, and your phone is like this fold, like a book. It opens up, so it's like two screens. It's a massive phone that you were watching the game.
I can actually watch two games on it at the same time.
I believe you.
The game that I'm at.
I believe you. So what was your impression watching Georgia Clemson? Because we were obviously in the stadium and didn't get to watch that game live.
Well, we did get to watch Sportscenter.
Yeah.
The thing we talked about before the game was that we were concerned about from a Clemson perspective was that they didn't rush the ball very well last year. Remember, they only had in 2019 when Clemson lost to arguably the greatest team in the history of the greatest single season team in the history of college football. They had 10 games where they rushed for over 100 yards. In 2020, they only had 3, even with Travis back and a star-studded team. They only ran for over 100 yards 3 times. Did you see the box score on what they rushed for against Georgia?
Like 2 yards?
2.
That's really bad.
Dude, man, are you kidding me? 2 yards. They had 2. We talked about this last week on the show, man. We were wrong picking the Missouri upset, but
you were close
with the Chippewas.
It was a 4-point game in the fourth quarter. I mean, it was close.
It was close. But we said that Clemson front, the 7 guys they got rotating into that Georgia front 4 might be, it's still too early to say this, but might be the best defensive line I've ever seen in my life.
Okay.
And we talked about that heading in, and I still feel pretty good about that.
It's bold, man. Any Russ Mitchell college football news? Out of obligation, like anything to care about with Alabama or whatever?
Other than the fact that, that's a decent Miami team, and they were winning 27-0 before Miami even got over the 50-yard line.
Oh, God.
Bryce Young, they've been throwing the ball pretty well down in Tuscaloosa for the last 7 or 8 years. And Bryce Young became the first Crimson Tide quarterback to throw for 4 touchdowns in his debut, 27 of 38 for 344 yards. And, this isn't a, and we've talked about this for a long time on your show, maybe almost a decade. Under Nick Saban, this has not been a particularly good Alabama defense in terms of sacks. They don't really get a ton of sacks, but they got 4 against King in this game and really forced him into 3 turnovers, and they even stuffed him on a goal line stand. So, really stellar starting. Basically the, bizarro Superman opposite of the LSU starting game of the season.
Whatever.
Just laying it out like it is, brother.
I was doing an interview with Ryan Fowler in Tuscaloosa yesterday.
Ryan.
Well, he asked me all about the. He still calls me Moscona. I've gone on Ryan's show for a decade. He still calls me Matt Moscona, and he says Moscona. He says Moscona a dozen times during the interview. Ryan yells, "Matt Moscona!" I'm like, Ryan, it's Moscona. Whatever. Anyway, and I love the guy, but he was. Yeah. So he asked me all about LSU, blah blah blah. We get to games. Hey, what you thought on Alabama? I was like, shut up, Ryan. I don't care. Like, does anybody care anymore? It's so boring. Like, what do you want to know? Yeah, they were phenomenal again. Freaking shocker. Whoop-de-doo. Bama's great again. Whatever.
Oh, man, I got nothing to add.
What was your favorite? What was your favorite part of our trip, of the LA trip?
The tailgating was really special. I thought that was great, and I had my family with me, and that was kind of fun. And it was Claire's first game, and she really got into it. And the good thing is, I've had a hard time getting my youngest daughter into football, and now we watch football all weekend long. So that was awesome.
Yeah.
Florida State, Notre Dame. She watched every second of it with me, and so that's good. But I would say. As much fun as we had eating that dinner, and your dad's great, but doing the show on Friday, that was fun.
Yeah, Friday was good, man. The show Friday was good. You kept getting refills of your vodka drinks and interrupting every live read I did.
Yeah, that was lots of fun.
It was a lot of
yeah. You have a lot more control over the outcome of the show when you're sitting there in the booth right next to the guy. You can step on anything you want, man.
Until I
shut
turn
off my mic.
Until I turn off your mic, like I'm about to put you on hold right now because I got to go to a break. All right, sit tight. Russ Mitchell's with us. College football news. We'll knock out a quick break. We'll come back. We'll preview the weekend ahead in the SEC. Stay here.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by the Baton Rouge General Hospital, brgeneral.org, brgeneral.org. I was chatting with Emily over the Baton Rouge General yesterday, and wanted me to remind you, of course, listen, it's game week over at LSU, home game, so you know the drill. You've got to have your vaccination card, proof of vaccination, or a negative PCR test within 72 hours of kickoff. So make sure you get by one of the Baton Rouge General Express Care locations. They're offering those for game day. So 3 locations available to get tested prior to game day. And then, again, it needs to be done 72 hours prior to kickoff. Nicholson, Highland, and Dutchtown. Nicholson is right across the street from Tiger Stadium. Nicholson, Highland, or Dutchtown. Game day vaccines are also going to be available at the Nicholson location across from Tiger Stadium from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. So you can get your vaccination card on game day, courtesy of the Baton Rouge General Express Care on Nicholson. brgeneral.org and brgeneral.org.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
To the heroes who are working tirelessly to care for our communities, we thank you. We will never forget the countless hours you dedicated on the front lines, choosing to risk your own health to fight for our friends, neighbors, and family members.
I mean, you guys are out on the front lines fighting it.
We are grateful for your heroic acts and unwavering spirit. Together, we are overcoming this adversity and make our state healthier and more vibrant again. Auctioner Health.
All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. And with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. Need repair? Our service department is ready and available to help you today. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Our topic today is about savings. What is savings?
Hancock Whitney isn't just a bank for our clients. We're investing in our hometowns, making life better for everyone. So keep dreaming. We've got your back.
Yo, Jake here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic, the place that's going to be convenient for you during an inconvenient time. Look, you hear me talk about my 4 boys all the time, and sometimes things like stitches, well, they happen. And in fact, they have. And Patient Plus is always taking care of us, just like they'll do the same for you. And now with 7 convenient locations across the Baton Rouge area, open from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m., 7 days a week. And also at PatientPlusUC.com, you can sign up for your appointment on the way to the clinic. That's Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic. Get in and get better.
Front to Back Boat Service has been family owned and operated for 30 years. And the Sherman family is NMEA certified. That's the National Marine Electronics Association at Front to Back. They are committed to improving the safety and technology of marine electronics through installer training, interface standards. And look, the fall and the winter, it's the perfect time to do that yearly maintenance you've been putting off. Get those parts you've been wanting. So schedule your appointment today at Front to Back, North Airway off of Airline Highway.
After After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
All right, we continue with Russ Mitchell, college football news. He's on Twitter at Russ Mitchell CFB. All right, we looked back. Now let's look ahead. Actually, not a bad slate this weekend in the conference. Let's just kind of go chronologically, starting with the early games and move throughout the day. 11 a.m., Pitt at Tennessee. I guess we're going to see if Josh Heupel's offense is for real.
South Point Volkswagen. Get yourself a Volkswagen from South Point Volkswagen.
Yes, do that.
And by the way, it was fun hanging out with T-Bob, man.
It's never fun hanging out with T-Bob.
Smart guy. I enjoy hanging. And we saw Andrew.
You really were drunk.
I was a little inebriated.
Yeah.
Can we talk about how big Andrew is?
Whitworth. You always say first names. Like, who are you talking about? Whitworth. Yes, Andrew Whitworth.
You know who I'm talking
about.
Well,
I didn't. You said Andrew. I didn't until you were
listen,
you said how big.
I'm a big man.
You're big, yes.
And that guy is just massive, man. That is one huge cat, dude.
Yeah, dudes that are 6'7", 320 shouldn't have abs. Whitworth is just an Adonis.
Yeah, he's just like, you shouldn't look like that.
I know.
I mean, no wonder he's been playing for so long.
Yeah.
All right, so,
Incredible.
This Pitt-Tennessee game is going to be kind of exciting. I'm a little bit more sold on the Pitt team than I am Tennessee.
Okay.
We saw Milton, the quarterback for Hupel, he only completed 11 passes out of 23 attempts, only 2 downfield, and one of them, that was an arm punt against any team with a pulse. You and I watched that. That should have been an interception in the end zone. He ran for 44 yards and 2 scores, and Tennessee ran for over 300. But Pitt, they got a good defensive front. They had 5 sacks. They only allowed 42 yards. I like Pittsburgh in this game, even in Nashville. By the way,
in Neyland, Knoxville.
The ACC. Sorry, Knoxville. You're right. The ACC desperately needs a win.
Okay.
Although I don't think Tennessee beating Tennessee is a big feather in your cap.
Florida is actually going to play on the road at.
No, we're not talking about Florida.
Oh, sorry, I scratched that.
I'm not talking about Florida USF.
Okay,
USF lost to North Carolina State 45-0 last week. So we're not talking about Alabama playing Mercer. We're not talking about Auburn playing Alabama State Hornets. We're not talking about Florida. We're not talking about South Carolina playing East Carolina.
Just for the record, I'm at least interested in Florida with their quarterback situation. Okay, what about A&M against Colorado in Denver?
I think that this is a Colorado team. A&M won 31 points despite having 5 turnovers in the game and 4 interceptions. So to me, they should be. The A&M's got way more talent right now than Colorado has. So despite the fact that Colorado beat North Colorado by 35-7, and Colorado's got a good running game, but A&M's got so much talent. They'll win this game. You're watching this game for one reason and one reason only. You're checking the box score for one reason and one reason only. If A&M has 5 more turnovers against Colorado, then they're not a top 10 team.
Okay. Yeah, the line in that one's 17. What about Texas going up to Fayetteville? You buying Sark after the big offensive day against ULL?
Actually, I'm really excited about this game, which is kind of stupid because Arkansas was losing 17-7 midway through the third quarter to Rice.
I know.
So, that's just really not good. And, Sark had a big day. The offense was rolling. Card did okay under center. Bijan Robinson looked like the stud that he is. Bijan Robinson, that's a name y'all should remember. If you're watching this game, Arkansas, I think Texas will win. But what's the spread? 13?
7.
Yeah, I think I'd take Texas. You're watching this game just to see if Arkansas's front 7 can stop Bijan. If they can stop Bijan Robinson, then I feel a little bit better about Arkansas heading into the season.
All right, a couple more. Mississippi State was on the ropes against Louisiana Tech. Furious fourth quarter rally. Now they welcome in the aforementioned NC State Wolfpack. So what do we make of Mike Leach's squad after week one? This is a tight line.
This is my upset pick of the week. And by the way, we covered the spread with the Chippewas, even if I love saying that. The Chippewas, even if they didn't win outright. But this is arguably the best team in the country that no one's talking about, North Carolina State.
So NC State is favored, by the way. NC State is favored by 2.5.
All right, well, give the points. Because, forget for a minute how bad the Bulldogs were and how they barely came back late to beat La Tech 35-34, needed all those fourth quarter points. I guess any week one win you can walk away from is a good thing. But, this Wolfpack team, 45-0 against USF, and it's 300 yards. Leary threw a pick, and the O-line dominated. That's what you're watching in this game. If you're watching it, Miss State versus State, you're watching the trenches. I like NC State. I think they win big, actually.
Okay.
And by the way, if you want to impress your friends and neighbors, start talking about NC State winning the ACC this year.
Winning the ACC.
Winning the ACC. It's a long shot because obviously Clemson's there, but who else is it going to be? I'm not sold on Florida State despite what happened with Notre Dame.
Do you want to talk about Vandy, Colorado State?
Only to point out the fact that Vandy just lost to East Tennessee State 23-3.
They got romped at home by East Tennessee State. All right.
By the way, just for the record, Colorado State lost at home to South Dakota State.
Oh, so
but South Dakota State's actually the best team in the FCS. So, but they lost at home 42-23.
Is South Dakota State the best team, or is North Dakota State? The Bison are usually the good team.
Okay.
I really don't know.
Might be the best.
Okay.
South Dakota. Well, you're right, but South Dakota State's a good team as well in the FCS. They play good. They play good FCS football.
I don't watch football that nobody cares about, so I don't watch that stuff.
Well, then why are we talking about Vanderbilt?
That's a great point. So let's move on. Missouri, who you picked to get upset by Central Michigan, they hung on. Missouri's at Kentucky. I think
this is a great game.
A lot of people expected. I know I expected more from Kentucky's running game week one. What do you think about this one? Missouri going to Lexington.
I think this is the only conference game.
It is. You're right.
Yeah. I like this game. I think this will be. I think this will be an interesting game. I think this will be a close game. What's the spread? Like 2? Kentucky by 2?
Oh, look. Hang on. The line is 5. Kentucky 5.
Oh, that's interesting. The Chippewas threw the ball for 500 yards. They bombed away, came up close to 500 yards of total offense against Missouri, right? And, Missouri got a massive day out of Beatty. And I don't know. I think that this is the thing that impressed me about Missouri in that game, 9 sacks. They got 9 sacks against Central Michigan. And this is a Kentucky offensive front that had a hard time stopping Louisiana Monroe from hitting the quarterback, right? Levis, his jersey was green. So, but I'm going to take Kentucky at home. I think this is going to be about how much Missouri can get to the Kentucky quarterback. I think they'll do enough damage, but I think this is going to be an exciting game to watch.
Any thought? I mean, obviously, LSU, McNeese, whatever, but any thought on what you'd like to see in that game on Saturday night?
The LSU game?
Yeah.
How about wide receivers are just in the right place? Excuse me. Secondary. Let's just look. I mean, McNeese is stronger than they look, but they lost to West Florida, man.
I know.
The pass defense crashed. They had too many penalties. I will say that Cody Odron is, he can wing the ball around the field. So, that's what will be interesting to see, right?
I guess.
Can the secondary look, brother? There's so much to this. They say the most improvement you make is between week 1 and week 2. There better be a boatload of improvement on this LSU team, or it's going to be a long, long, long season.
Yeah. Here's hoping.
The defensive line got. I mean,
You're going in again. He's going in again.
I'm not done. This is why making, all the time. I love how Sir Burrier called it the talking season, man. This is why until you see the boys lined up, I mean, that's that front line for LSU. If any of you are listening, y'all should be ashamed of yourselves, man. I mean, show some pride, man. Let people push you around like that. You're a top recruit in the country. Doesn't matter who your coach is. Show some pride, man. All right, I'm better.
My ribeye cap at Musso and Frank was spectacular, by the way.
It was delicious, wasn't it?
It was really, really good. Musso and Frank, the oldest restaurant in Hollywood. If you're in the area, I would highly recommend. Get your reservation, though, because
get a reservation because that big guy at the door. You're not getting into that place if you don't have a reservation, buddy.
Reservation? Oh, yes, sir, we do. It's under Mitchell. It's the other big guy over there. We have a reservation.
Which says as much about Musso and Frank as it does about Hollywood Boulevard.
What does that mean?
Well, it was a bit. There were some elements of Hollywood Boulevard that were moderately seedy.
Yes, we also saw the co-creators of Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones. So the co-creator of Game of Thrones.
That was at that in the lobby bar at the Hotel Roosevelt, which was, boy, that was a really lovely place.
It was really. Hey, great to chat. Better to see you this weekend, and we'll talk again next week.
All right, tell everybody to figure it out down there.
All right,
that was embarrassing. That was just embarrassing.
Okay, man.
That was embarrassing.
We'll see you later.
All
right, we'll
Goodbye.
See. That's Russ Mitchell. He was embarrassed. He was so pissed off watching that game. He was so pissed off. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center. Both Jimmy Ott and I, Williamson Eye Center patients there of Dr. Blake Williamson. Jimmy had a lens replacement, same procedure my dad had, as a matter of fact, with Dr. Blake Williamson. I had LASIK. Hester recently had PRK, the Williamson Eye Center. If you want to live your life without contacts or glasses, no matter your refractive issue, they can help. They have an option. Their state-of-the-art surgery center, their new location on the Baton Rouge General Bluebonnet campus. Learn more. Schedule your free consultation with Dr. Blake Williamson at 924-2020. 924-2020. If you want to see 2020, call 924-2020 for the Williamson Eye Center. All right, y'all, one thing left to do. Jimmy Ott will join us for Otter Locks. Let's find out what we're betting on tonight. That's coming up to wrap up the show next. It's AFR, presented by Pluckers.
AFR.
With Ida having come and gone, so many people now are examining their insurance policies. And so many people are realizing how much they're overpaying, how awful or high their hurricane deductible is, how much their insurance company might skate their call or deny their claim. A lot of people are frustrated. I was having a conversation today with a friend who needs a roof replacement, and this person's agent came out, the adjuster came out and said, nah, you just need a few shingles replaced here. Like, a lot of people are frustrated. Let this be the moment. Let this be the push for you to call Insurance Network of Louisiana. 293-0450. 293-0450. Let Adam and Jay and the gang I tell you about all the time at Insurance Network of Louisiana shop to get you better coverage for less money. 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Yo, Jake here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic, the place that's going to be convenient for you during an inconvenient time. Look, you hear me talk about my four boys all the time, and sometimes things like stitches, well, they happen. And in fact, they have. And Patient Plus is always taking care of us, just like they'll do the same for you. And now with 7 convenient locations across the Baton Rouge area, open from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m., 7 days a week. And also at patientplusuc.com, you can sign up for your appointment on the way to the clinic. That's Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic. Get in and get better.
Our topic today is about savings. What is savings?
Hancock Whitney isn't just a bank for our clients. We're investing in our hometowns, making life better for everyone. So keep dreaming. We've got your back.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
All right, down the stretch we come wrapping up a Hump Day edition of AFR presented by Pluckers, Nicholson, Bluebonnet, Dine In, Carry Out. You don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird. One thing left to do. Let's find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks, presented by Clark Crane Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in St. Francisville. Because a great deal is worth the short drive to Clark Crane.
So we turn to the one and only, the incomparable and often incomprehensible, the Ott Father, Jimmy Ott. Otter, how are you?
Doing good, Matt. Back on campus, baby. Campus is packed.
Really? Good.
Yeah, they returned to school yesterday, and so, man, just a lot of activity around campus. And so we're on John Street, just across the North Gates from LSU. We're at City Spice Pint and Pizza.
Very good, man. Looking up at the screen, got some Major League Baseball action going on right now. NFL opener obviously is tomorrow. What are we keeping an eye on tonight, man?
What we're doing tonight is we got a lot. We're cramming in the last couple of days before the season starts tomorrow, right in the middle of our show. And that is just preseason bets in the NFL. Whether you want to bet, win totals, over under. I'm putting out all my win totals tonight. I got 7 of them later in the show. I've got some division picks for you and a couple of long shots at Coach of the Year.
Okay.
So, all right. First, to start out with the AFC East, and the Buffalo Bills are a prohibitive favorites to win the East. So these two teams were like a pick-em last year to win the AFC East. New England Patriots and Buffalo Bills. New England had more opt-outs than anybody before the season started for COVID. Cam Newton was terrible. Jones is going to be an upgrade. And, hey, I like Tom Brady kind of rubbed it in Belichick's face a little bit. I'm not so sure that Buffalo's here to stay. I think Allen is a real deal. I think they're really good. But give me New England in a two-team race for the division. Okay. I'm going to take them at plus 350. Get a big price.
Yeah,
plus
for sure.
350. Yes. The other division is a two-team race. It's the worst division in all the NFL, and that is the NFC East. The Giants are going to be terrible. I'll just give you a hint. I'm taking them under their win total at 7. I mean, that offensive line, Daniel Jones not that good, and under pressure, he's really worse. So Washington versus Dallas, who knows what Dallas is going to, look like. But I know Washington's going to bring that defense. And I think they have an upgrade at quarterback with Fitzmagic. And I like Rivera as a coach. He's a proven coach in this league. And you're giving me plus 240. Eagles can't win it. That roster's too bad. The Giants can't win it. Two-team race. I'll take Washington to win the division plus 240.
Okay.
Now, another division that I think is a two-team race is the NFC North. And the Lions, well, it's just pretty bad. They couldn't beat other teams' backups with their starters in preseason. All right. And then you have the Bears, and they're going to play Dalton for a few games, and then Fields is going to come in. I don't think Justin Fields is quite ready yet. A lot of one look and run, even in preseason, one look and run. It's going to have a lot of growing pains between Minnesota and Green Bay. I don't think it's a contest. And so they got Aaron Rodgers back. I'm going to lay the $1.80 for Green Bay to win the NFC North.
Okay.
A couple of long shots, okay? 22-1 to win Coach of the Year. They started out this time last year. Von Miller got hurt. They were in games and lost several games at the end because they had poor quarterback play. They didn't even have a quarterback when they played the Saints. I'm going with Vic Fangio at 22-1. Teddy Bridgewater had an awesome preseason. I like their tough division. I'm going with Fangio at Coach of the Year at 22-1.
Jimmy Ott's next. Otter, thank you.
Thank you, Matthew.
All right, putting a button on it here. Shout out to Pluckers. Y'all have a great night. Otter's next. We'll see you tomorrow at 3.
AFR.
Brought to you by Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. I tell you every single day, of course, we are working so hard to service so many people who had storm damage due to Hurricane Ida. I'll continue to tell you the best way, the best advice that I could possibly give you to get your process expedited. Number one, log on to our website, HudcoRoofing.com. Go to HudcoRoofing.com. There is a Hurricane Ida response team button right there at the top of the page. Tap that, fill out the form. It'll take you 30 seconds. That automatically gets you in line in our system. Go to HudcoRoofing.com. And if you know you have damage, contact your insurance company, file a claim, get a claim number. Those two things will expedite your process. We are here. Shingle, metal, whatever kind of roof replacements, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. HudcoRoofing.com.
In most cases, you'll never get more for your trade-in than right now at Corvell Toyota in Opelousas. Now's your chance to upgrade. You can pre-order your new Toyota today or choose one of our pre-owned vehicles and we'll buy back your current vehicle at a price that will absolutely amaze you. You can walk away with more money in your pocket than you ever thought possible. At Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, that's Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
In the sunshine, everybody loves the sunshine.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call